Matchday live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Neves brings it down on the volley. Oh, you must be kidding me! Ruben Neves has just struck a sensational goal. Oh, it's headed in. It's the Elliott Doctor who arrives. Oh, the brilliant Belgian in the right place at the right time. Calls it all. That's unbelievable. Jean Martinho has whipped it into the far top corner. Can you believe this?
A very good morning and welcome to the home of football. We are back at the Golden Palace that is Molineux for Wolverhampton Wanderers against Brighton and Hove Albion. From one Albion to another, we will of course dissect what we saw in the Black Country Derby last Monday and plenty more to discuss between now and kick-off with a stellar lineup of guests as ever here on Matchday Live Extra. I'm Mikey Burrows. Alongside me as ever is the Hall of Famer Andy Thompson, and also we are delighted to be joined today by a man who made 334 appearances for Wolves, scoring 9 goals as well, 27th on the all-time list. Lee Naylor is with us and Carl Ikeme is here as well. Hello, everybody, and welcome to you here on Wolves TV. Carl Ikeme, of course, 207 Wolves appearances and 71 clean sheets.
It was all right, Mike. It was all right, Mike.
You can see you're disappointed.
I was expecting it.
An absolute hero to many.
Shocking.
We'll get into the team news in just a moment, boys. There is a lot to try and dissect from it, but Keems and Lee Naylor, you weren't with us on Monday, so very much interested in your views. I'll come to you first, Keems. What did you make of the Black Country Derby? Because I know you were pretty nervous in the real build-up to it.
Yeah, I thought we played really well in parts. Obviously, wasn't as clinical as I'd like, but I think that's probably been the story of the season in a whole. But I felt like we had a lot of chances as well. I thought Fabio was really good. I really liked Owen. Atsawi, it's the first time I've seen him start, and I can see why he's been around the first team all season. And unfortunately, he's not involved today. But I'd like to see more of him as well. I thought Morgan done well coming off the bench, and I thought we played some really good football. Vitinha was really good as well, and probably unfortunate not to nick it, to be honest. But yeah, I thought there was a lot of positives to take.
Lee, what did you make of it?
I thought it was an interesting game. Obviously, battled well. Subs made an impact, and that's all you can ask of your subs. Obviously, the weather didn't help the situation, but made for a good few tackles. Obviously, the one that Morgan made in was a good challenge, and it got the boys up. And it takes something like that in a derby to get you going, and I think that got him going. But yeah, all in all, I thought we could have went on and actually won the game.
We're going to talk a little bit more about some of the youngsters because, of course, many of them are still involved today. Tomo, there is, of course, the element of Keems's favourite topic of 4 or 5 at the back.
I was going to say it, but I didn't say it. I thought not to.
I know. I saved you from doing that. That we are continuing with 4 at the back today. Kiana Hoover comes in, though, for Nelson Semedo on the right-hand side, who is amongst the substitute. Jean Martinho is back fit. Morgan Gibbs-White starts in place of Owen Otasawi, who is not included in the matchday squad, and Daniel Podence is in to start. So, Tomo, what do you make of all of that?
Yeah, I'd say it doesn't surprise me that he's gone with the back 4 again. So, look, he wants to play that, and we all know that he wants to change that and go to that, what he wants to play next year. So we've seen the 4. I thought Aitanuri played really well on Monday. I thought he did really well. So like he's brought Hoover into the right back position. Kilman, it's interesting that he's left Saiz out and brought Kilman in. But again, I say like it's about having a look and trying to keep people fresh for the 4 games that we got left. And then, I just thought the outstanding performance was Vitinha. I was well impressed with the way that he played, wanting the ball, was positive in everything that he did. So it was good to see. So it'd be interesting. A chance for Presents to come in as well. So look, he's been in and out with injuries or he's just been left onto the bench. And you got Martinho back. So which look, it's going to be interesting. So there's a mixture of experience and youth, isn't there?
Yeah, look, there are two elements to it. Let's focus on the defence first of all. Keames, do you almost feel like Max Kilman, in his little cameo towards the end on Monday, maybe put his hand up to say, I need an opportunity now towards the end of the season?
Yeah, I think Max done well the first half of the season when he come in. I think he's probably been unfortunate not to play a little bit more, in all honesty. And I think his cameo has probably helped force him in the side. And it kind of looks like Nuno's having a look now. We were talking about it a few games ago, whether he's going to start to change it up. And I think he's starting to do that now. I think he's starting to have a look for next season. And I think maybe that's a reason that Max is in there as well, to have a look. Can you give me more game time? Can I trust you to take the club forward? And because it does look like he wants to play this four at the back. I know we're not trying to get into it, but we do create more chances when we play four at the back. It's just a fact. We seem to have better moments in the game, but just we can't defend as well in the four. So I think he's having a look at that now and seeing what combinations might work there for next season.
Nails, is it almost an element of, look, we know that Max Kilman can play on the deck, so it's not like we're substituting anything from Saiss in that respect, but maybe Kilman is a little bit more physical and a natural central defender than Romain Saiss is.
Yeah, I mean, when you get into men's football and you're a centre half, first and foremost, you've got to defend. And when you get to the top of your game, one-on-ones, you have to be massive. Yeah, you have to be strong. And I think maybe that was the question over him before. I think you can get away with it in a three. But when you revert back to a four, this got to be one of your strongest positions but when you come to the first team and when you're in the Premier League. And I think he's having a look at it now. Obviously, I think he wants to go to a back four. And I think he's just looking for this personnel to go in there. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, you go to Connor Cody. He come to the club as a midfielder. Yeah, perfect sweeper, unbelievable role he plays. But in a back four, I'm not too sure.
It's almost kind of like Kimi's go-to phrase in the last couple of weeks of there's lots of questions, aren't there? And we still don't particularly have the answers just yet. We'll come back to the team news chat because we need to get our first guest on as we build up towards kickoff. Let's welcome back our friend Leon Blanche from our betting partners, Boyle Sports, in our ever-long quest to try and take some money from him. How are you, my friend? What are the match odds looking for today?
Yeah, I'm doing well, Mikey. How are you? Look, I think people are expecting a close game. There doesn't seem to be an awful lot of money around for the first goal scorer markets, which you would normally see ahead of a game. But Wolves are a big price. They're 3-1 just to win this match at home. I have to say all the money has been for Brighton. They're coming into very close to even money now. They're 21-20 and the draw is 21-10. So Wolves at home, 3-1 against Brighton. Look, this fixture notoriously doesn't produce many goals. There has been quite a bit of money for no goal scorer. It's come in from 8-1 into 6.5-1. So it's going to be an interesting match.
Well, hang on, Lee. The last game between these two had 6 goals. Why has everyone been so negative on it?
Well, I think if you look at Wolves, kind of bar that game against Burnley, the 2 previous games to that, they won 1-0. It was 1-1, obviously, against West Brom. So, bar that kind of horrible defeat against Burnley, let's say 4-0, they've been very tight. There hasn't been that many chances. There hasn't been that many goals. Maybe with a back four, there might be more opportunities for both sides, if that's the way he's going to play today, because certainly when Wolves play with the 3 centre halves, they don't give up as many chances, but they certainly don't create as many chances. So I think that's the predicament that Nuno's in at the moment. Does he go with the 4 or does he try and play with the 5?
So if there's not much money going on first goal scorers, does that mean you can get pretty decent odds on someone like Fabio Silva, who got a goal on Monday and may well fancy following it on?
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm delighted for him because he's such a young lad. I think anything he does this season is only going to benefit him experience-wise come next season. He's 13-2 to score first. He's also 13-2 to score last, and he's 5-2 to score at any time. So he's a young guy. He's obviously been kind of thrust into the limelight a little bit earlier than he would have been. But you've got to like what he does. He seems to get himself in the right position. It doesn't always happen for him, but he's such a young kid. I mean, he's got many, many years left, and hopefully he can keep learning, keep developing, and be a big asset for Wolves going forward.
Well, it's charity bet time, and stand by for this, everybody, because normally, of course, I only predict a 1-0 win, as Keems and Tomo will attest to every week. However, Leon, I am going for just more than 2.5 goals in this game. Doesn't matter who wins, more than 2.5 goals in the game.
You're a brave man, Mikey. You're a brave man. It's so they're going to be 3 or more goals today. So that's look. It's not a huge price. It's a 13-10. But look, I'm going to round it up because we don't have too many games left. I'll give you 2-1 that there's 3 or more goals in today's game.
Okay. I mean, that doesn't even feel huge amount, but I appreciate what you've done for us there. Has anybody else got a bet going forward? I know Sam Ricketts was going to be a part of our coverage today, and he had a little bet that was kind of going for this as well.
Yeah, we've got Sam. Sam went for 2-1 to Wolves, which would obviously make your bet a winner as well. That's a 12-1 chance. For the Boyle Sports charity bet, I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to go 1-1 at 11-2, but I'd like to offer Lee, Tomo, and Carl, if they have any thoughts, what would they like to go on this lunchtime kickoff?
2 each, and Vitinha to score at any time.
2 each.
So, Tomo, I mean, I don't know what's going on with this. Maybe it's the end of the season. This is ridiculous.
Might as well have a gamble, have we?
I mean, just for context on both mine and Tomo's bets there, I think the last Wolves haven't scored against Brighton in the last 4 home games, but we're predicting plenty of goals today, and he's gone for Vitinha as well.
Well, I'll keep Tomo simple. 2-2 is a 14-1 chance.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed that can click for charity.
Do you know what? I'll go for 2-1. I'll try and double it up with Mikey. Yeah, I'll go 2-1 Wolves.
Yeah, well, 2-1 Wolves is the exact same prediction as I think it was Sam who predicted that. That was 12-1, Carl. So that's a decent enough bet.
Nails, have you got
Lee,
one?
You want to throw your hat into the ring? You might as well.
Yeah,
because these lads are absolutely.
I would have thought 2-1 Wolves. That was my early thinking. I'll be honest with you, but I'm not allowed to bet. So.
Oh no, this is just for charity. This is just for charity. So we're going to go. Well, listen, there's 3 pundits going 2-1, so we'll increase that up to 16-1. If it clicks, it'll be a nice return for our charity.
Oh, imagine if it's 2-1 in the last minute and someone gets a Tomo will be the only person happy that it got back to 2-2. Leon, really appreciate it as ever. Thank you very much, my friend. Stay well.
Best of luck, guys, today.
Take it easy.
Thank you, mate. Leon Blanche from our betting partners, Boyle Sports. We are gone charity bet crazy, trying to raise some money for the Wolves Foundation and the Feed Our Pack campaign. Very important. Check out the details online at wolves.co.uk. Let's go back to the team news element then, Tomo, and talk about the attacking impact more rather than the defence. Morgan Gibbs-White in on that right-hand side, Vitinha and Daniel Podence. That feels like kind of 3 number 10s, does it not?
Yeah, but we've seen Podence and Morgan seem to roam and go, have a little bit of a free reign at times. So it'd be interesting. Like I said, I was very impressed with Vitinha last week and the way that he played and the energy that he had. And we've spoke about Silva before. I just think that he's improving. He seems to be anyway for every game that he plays. He looks like he's got himself a little bit stronger. He seems a little bit more confident in that top third, and that's what I want to see again today. So for him, for me, for the rest of the season now, he needs to try and finish on a high, try and score as many as he can, try and get in the right positions. And I just think that the 3 lads around him, Podence, Gibbs-White and Vitinha, I think they'll be the supply for him.
What about Morgan Keems? You know him pretty well when he was first coming through. I was just chatting to Tomo before we started. And I mean, this is his 80th Wolves appearance now. And I know a lot of those will have been, late substitute appearances, a couple of minutes here and there. but he feels almost like more than any of the others has the most to prove at the moment as regards what role he's going to have in this squad going forwards.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't know if he's publicly stated it, but it seems to be the case that he's not happy about not his game time, which is fine as well. But he shouldn't. If he feels like he should be getting an opportunity, he wants an opportunity, which I think has been misdirected in some terms. But I think he needs to step up to the plate now. Really, he's of age now where he can make an impact. He's of age where he should be starting to play more games wherever he is, and he wants to be at Wolves. So I think all the talking stops now, and I think he needs to do it out there because we know he's got talent. We know he's got ability. We know he wants to be playing first team football, and now he's got to prove it. And I hope through the few appearances he's made off the bench recently, where he's made an impact, I hope he could start to make an impact from the start, because I do feel like there's places up for grabs around that midfield area. I know he's playing. I don't think he'll be out wide today. I think he'll be playing more from the central position, but he's got energy, and I think he needs to try and find a way to show that and bring that on the pitch more, and to try and get us driving into the box. He's not the sort of player who's going to be like a Martino and sit back and spray balls. He needs to be like a number 8.
But it's that element, isn't it, of grabbing a game by the scruff of the neck, and I wonder, Nails, whether it's that for him, it's the position he's got himself into now, where he doesn't want to be seen as a youngster on the fringes. He now needs to be seen as a fully fledged member of this squad, and you've done it. I don't know how hard it is to change that mindset and be like, no, I now need to be a man that can be relied on.
No, absolutely. I think it's very difficult. Coming on into a game as a substitute, it's very difficult. But when you do that, you have to make an impact. You have to make an impression on the gaffer that says, you know what, I actually can't leave this boy out anymore. I haven't seen enough this season that warrants that. I'm not sure how many games he's actually started, but it's not enough, especially as someone of Morgan's age. And he'll feel that he should be starting, but we need to see the performances. He's had some good ones, and he's been inconsistent in and out, and that's not good for anyone. And we all know that. And it is difficult making an impact coming off the bench. So hard to come into a game and make an impact, especially in the Premier League, especially at the top level. But you have to do it, and if you want to start a game, that's what you have to do.
Well, let me give you the numbers. This is his 80th Wolves appearance today. He has only ever started 24 games in the 79 that he's played before. In terms of league matches, this is only his 11th league start out of 60, or what will be 61 appearances. Let's get a guest in who knows all about what it's like and how difficult it is to transition from highly rated young player at Wolverhampton Wanderers to being a fully fledged first team player. It ended up being that he had to leave Wolves and join Brighton to make that happen. Elliott Bennett is with us on Matchday Live Extra here on Wolves TV. I think he's just joining us in just a second. Had 2 spells at Brighton, actually, did Elliott, and it's going to be really interesting to see how he goes. Welcome, first of all. Thank you for joining us, my friend. I'm sure you know plenty of these guys who are with us today. Elliott, we're just talking about youngsters, and specifically Morgan Gibbs-White, but a number of them really who face that prospect of trying to force their way into the first team. And I know it was kind of tough for you in the end here, wasn't it?
Yeah, really tough. First of all, I just want to say hello to everyone.
Yes,
team, there. You okay, mate?
Good, mate.
Yeah, good. Everyone there, right?
Yeah, all good, man. All good, man.
Yeah, good. Yeah, of course. I had a great time growing up, coming through the academy, and I found it, really tough to break in. Obviously, the lads that were there did it unbelievable. The year I made my debut, I think the club went on to get promoted to the Premier League the season after that. And of course, when you're when you're coming through, all you want to do is play for your hometown club. That's all I wanted to do. And unfortunately, I didn't manage to make the grade at the time. But, I had a great time, and it gave me a great start in my football career.
Are there almost some similarities, Elliott, for you and Morgan, in that, local boys who were at the club just when the team got promoted, and if they hadn't got promoted, you'd have probably ended up getting far more opportunities than you did, and it might be the same for Morgan, really.
Yeah, maybe, but I think everything happens for a reason. My career took the path it did. Wolves got promoted. I had to kind of take I say a step back, but a step back in terms of the league, going to League One with Brighton. And then it gave me the opportunity to play lots of football and propel myself back to the Premier League with Norwich. So look, I think it's really tough. Obviously, the Wolves squad's incredible squad, and Morgan's obviously had a great loan spell earlier on in the season at Swansea, so he's been able to play some football and obviously get his opportunity this afternoon against Brighton.
How hard did you find it though to actually make that move and make your mind up that you needed to move to get your career going?
Yeah, it was really tough. I'd never lived away from home. Wolves was my club. Been there obviously since the age of 7, 8 years old. And I just really didn't want to. I really didn't want to leave. I didn't want to give up on the dream. And then Terry Connor at the time pulled me into the office and just said, "Look, it's time to go and make yourself, a name for yourself, really, rather than just being Elliott Bennett, the kid from Wolves. Go and be Elliott Bennett, a football player." So, look, it was, it was good advice in the end. It worked out really well for me, and but yeah, it was a really difficult decision. But looking back, it was probably the single best decision I made, really, leaving to go and make my own career.
Elliott, I remember when you left and went down to Brighton, and did you have that determination to think that I'm gonna show you guys and get back in the Premier League? Because to be fair, you ended up past a lot of the players that got in front of you when you was at Wolves.
Yeah. Like I think from leaving, I always just wanted to prove to myself more than anything, really, that I could make the level. I think the time that I left, it was the right timing, really. I wasn't ready to play in that team at Wolves. Obviously the lads did unbelievable, like Jarvo, Kites, all them sort of players. I was never getting in ahead of them. But it did give me a massive determination just to prove to myself and the club that I could do it. And I ended up, like you said, getting there and like you said, playing a few more games than I probably thought I would have done in the Premier League. So no, it was a really, really tough decision, but it was one that worked out well in the end.
How different is this Brighton to the one that you joined, Elliott?
It's not the same football club. I remember when I first went down there, we were washing our own kit, playing at the Withdean with a running track around it. Yeah, the club now is incredible. What the owner's done there, he had a vision. That was the kind of vision he sold to me when I moved down there all them years ago. And, it's finally come to fruition. And, they've got some fantastic players down there. They've got a really exciting coach as well now. I think they're playing some really, really exciting football. And, maybe their league position probably doesn't, tell the full story. But, there'll be another season in the Premier League. And it should be a good game today against another one of my old club's, Wolves.
What do you make of Graham Potter? Because it's fascinating, really, from the outside looking in at. He did the same at Swansea, I guess, really, in very much a specific style of play that he wanted to do. They could be very fluid, and their formations can change. And I wouldn't. I've seen people talking about him as a potential Tottenham manager, and I don't think that's that pie in the sky. I think he's really highly rated, isn't he?
Yeah, he's done fantastic with Brighton this season. Like I said, the league position and the amount of points they'll probably be disappointed with. But I think the performances that they've put in this season have been fantastic. And with the way football's going now, it's a lot of it's based on the style of play, making it exciting for fans to watch. And the Brighton fans have been very excited by what they've seen this season under Graham Potter. And obviously when that happens, you kind of get clubs that cast their eye on the manager. Similar to what's happened at Wolves, really. What Nuno's done at Wolves has been nothing short of amazing, really. And And I'm sure exciting young managers that play a nice brand of football and do well are always going to be a target for the so-called bigger clubs.
Nails, there was a bit that Nuno was talking about in the week. Actually, he was really kind of bigging up Graham Potter and the fact that Graham Potter went to Sweden to get all the experience that he did as a coach, and maybe that more young English coaches should take that kind of experience and go abroad and learn different things, and whether that's been of massive benefit to Graham Potter.
Yeah, I mean, he went away and put in the hard yards. He put in the minutes on the training field. Went abroad, got a new culture, experienced a new culture, experienced new players, different formations, and I bet he tried different things out there, as probably there weren't that much pressure on him. But when he was ready, he came back, and I think he's done an amazing job.
Absolutely, really has. Go on, Keems.
Yeah, I was just about to say, sometimes English coaches and managers are reluctant to go, aren't they? And you end up kind of slipping down the leagues where it's difficult. A lot of managers have a vision of how they want to play, but it's a lot more difficult to implement that. And sometimes when you do go away, as he did do, you like Dan said, you have less pressure, but you also you might be encouraged to play a certain style of football as well, because you haven't got that same pressure on you. And I suppose when you get the opportunity to do that, it kind of can bring you in better stead coming back, because I've been down the leagues and played like at Stockport and Accrington and stuff like that. You have a lot of young managers that might get that job, but if you want to play an attractive style of football at Stockport, it's very difficult, trust me. And sometimes it's not the fact that you don't want to play that way or you can't play that way. It's just the fact that it's hard to implement that, and then you almost get judged on that as well.
Means much, yeah. It's one of those,
and you end up finding it hard to come back. Where a lot of young sort of English coaches could fall into that bit of a pitfall, really. Where I spoke to Rob Edwards before, and he said how difficult it is when he's trying to implement certain things. It's difficult, but as he said, he's gone abroad. He's learned a new style. Try to not have that pressure under him to do that, and come back and getting linked to Tottenham now and doing a great job at Brighton.
It's fascinating though, isn't it? And this is one is for all of you really. And Elliott, you can have first dibs on it. What's it like as a player really? Because when you're playing under a manager who has that set idea and doesn't necessarily want to tailor it too much to the situation that you're in, that has the power of belief really, because Wolves have had it under Nuno in the last couple of years. And on the other side of it, I think back to Stolar Solbakken here a long time ago, and there were players around at the time that didn't really want to do it because they didn't feel it was right for the Championship. So what's it like as a player when you're under that kind of leadership?
I think speaking about Nuno first, it always helps when the team's successful. If the manager's got a way of football that he wants to play, everyone at the beginning, when a new manager comes in, buys into what they want to do, because everyone wants to be, in the starting 11. And when a manager's got a particular idea and he's very stuck on it, if the team's then successful, it's easy to get players to buy in. You spoke about the previous manager there at Wolves, that he had a very specific idea that if results aren't going well, people just won't buy in, no matter how good you think your idea might be. And that's when you sometimes have to adapt. But look, I think it's fantastic when you've got managers like Nuno, Graham Potter, people like that they've got an idea of playing, and they kind of don't waver for anyone. I mean, I know Nuno's kind of tinkered a bit more, going from the 3 to a 4 and stuff like that at the back. But I've got a lot of respect for managers that do that, because at the end, if it doesn't work out, they lose their job, but they did it their own way, instead of trying to bend to the pressures of outside kind of influences and not sticking by their beliefs. I think if you've got a belief, and Nuno's proved that his belief is a very good one, because look how successful Wolves have been. It's easy for players to buy in when the team does well and is as successful as they've been.
Yeah, just to echo that as well. I think Stolar, I was obviously there with Stolar, and Stolar had some really good ideas. He just wasn't necessarily willing to adapt to the Championship. I think if he was willing to adapt to the Championship, then I felt like he would have done a lot better. I think the difference between obviously our manager and Brighton's manager is that they're very much determined and not wavering in their style, but they were willing to adapt it to what the Premier League or the Championship demands as well. And I think that's where they've been outstanding, both of them. It's not, you can say, oh, let's play expansive football and be open, but it don't always necessarily win your games. And that's when it kind of brings pressure. And then I think that's what both managers have done brilliantly. And I think even when Nuno has gone to the fore at the back, we've not all of a sudden become really open, expansive, playing this sort of Man City-like football. We've still got a DNA of Wolves. We just maybe create a few more chances and let a few more goals in as well. And I think that's what both managers have done well. And I suppose that's the balance of football, really, where you're always trying to get it right.
Yeah, I mean, for me, yeah, you have to have your players buying into what you do, but at the same time, if you haven't got the personnel to do that job, yeah, that's when you see things creeping into the football club. And I think that's where you've seen it creeping in suddenly into the Wolves game, where, you know, we haven't got our talisman, we haven't got a striker that's putting in 20 a season. I mean, Wolves have struggled lately at scoring goals. And, you know, as you say, you've got a way of playing, you're doing this and that. Yeah, you've got good players around. Yeah, they're buying into it, but have you got the actual personnel to do that job?
It's the balance, isn't it, now? And it's a culture as well at the club as well. Because I suppose we can look at Wolves and Bennett had an indifferent season, but you can never really sort of say that we've looked at a game, and while we've been disappointed with some games, you can never think that they're not playing for the manager. And I suppose it's the same with the Brighton as well. They've had dark moments in the season, but you can never question whether they're playing for the manager. Sometimes circumstances like now said, like, we've struggled to score goals as well, but we've got our probably best player out for most of the season as well. So sometimes there are reasons why things don't go quite your way, but the culture's never changed at both clubs, and I think and both have got really exciting managers and some real good players in the squads.
Yeah, because I always remember when Nuno first came in, I think the first game in the friendly was Shrewsbury away, and he's changed the formation. He's put Conor Cody into the sweeping role, and people thought of us, hang on a minute, what's he doing? So I think we lost the game as well, and it takes people by surprise. But you've got to assess what you've got at the club, haven't you? You've got to assess what you've got at your club. You've got to have your own theories on what you want to play and the way that you're going to go about it. And I think Potter had the same problem at Brighton. I think he's come in and he's got some players, changed the way that they wanted to play. He tried to play from the back, and people question it because they were conceding a lot of goals initially. And I think that's just that thing that happens with managers. They've got to come in. Again, you get sacked if you don't get it right, but it's their beliefs, and that's the big thing. Sticking to your beliefs, what you believe, you can get the right results and the right thing out of the players that you've got.
We are counting down to kick off here. Elliott, just before we let you go, I know you have a foot in both camps, but technically you are on Wolves TV. And for all those youngsters who will see you as a role model at Thomas Telford School as well, what's your prediction for today?
I'm going 2-1 Wolves.
That'll do for me.
You can come back.
There you go. Elliott, mate, to see you. Stay safe and well.
Yeah, brilliant. Good to see you all. Thanks for having me on.
Take it easy, man.
Thanks, mate. Elliott Bennett with us here on the Matchday Live Extra. We were going to do quite a big chat about fullbacks today. We'll do it after the game. So make sure you come back and join us post-game, because Lee Naylor and Andy Thompson especially will have some really interesting views on how it goes today. But in the last couple of minutes before kick-off, boys, just kind of your thoughts, I guess, Tomo, first of all, on where, you know, we see Wolves in this game. What are the key areas? What are we looking for? Who are we looking at to step up and dominate this game?
Yeah, well, so we've spoke about the attacking line and so look, and I think if we're going to start to win games, we've got to score some more goals. And I know we've always struggled goals. Even when Jimenez was here, we were never a big goal scoring team anyway. But I just think in that top third, if we can just keep the pressure off our back line, and hopefully with the forward up there, cause big problems for Brighton. Because the movement what we've got and the pace that we've got up there can cause a problem. You look at the bench as well, what he's got to offer coming on there. But I just think up front, if we can just be a little bit more ruthless, a bit more clinical in that top third, I think he'll cause a big problem for Brighton.
Takes a bit of pressure off your defence as well, Tomo.
Yeah, exactly. If you've got the 4 lads up there who keeping the ball, retaining possession of the ball, leading from the front, winning the ball back, it gives you a great chance and an opportunity to win the game.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's going to be important how we see the sort of say the 4 and 2, say the 4 at the back and the 2 midfielders, how they engage with the 4 up top, because sometimes you can look like two different teams in a sense where it don't particularly flow well. So I'm gonna be interested to see how that flows. Obviously the lads that have come in as well, Morgan, and I feel bad for him because I know I've seen it before when you've got local lads. They get a lot of pressure from the fans and a lot of pressure from the outside. And I think out of Morgan, it's out of. I don't know. I can't speak for a lot of the fans, but it's out of love and wanting him to make an impact. We want him to do well. We want his future to be at Wolves, and I hope he can bring some energy to that. But I think it'd be important for how we play. Neves and Martinez might be really important for that to connecting that 4, to connecting the lower half of the pitch to the top half of the pitch. Because I think that's how. That's the only worry I have today of how it's all going to flow together.
Well, it's going to be really interesting now, isn't it? Because you're going to have two full-backs who can be wing-backs who will want to get forwards. You've got 2 central midfielders who like to get on the ball. And then you've got effectively 3 number 10s who are all going to want the ball. There's only one ball out there.
No, absolutely. I think I'll definitely be looking at the full-backs to see if they can win their 1v1 duels, to see how they get on defensively. Going forward, we know they're good. I think we'll look at the 2 central defenders. Can they play together in a 2? Is the communication there between the back 6, if you like, with Neves and Martinez, and how the front 4, stroke 5 with Martinez pushing on? How can they, ease the pressure on the defending side of things? How can they stop, full-backs, their wing-backs rather, getting on? And how you defend as a team? I think, it's very important to stress that, it's keeping clean sheets is good. But, if we can take the pressure off, as Tomo said, by scoring a few, then happy days.
Hopefully so. Leonardo Kalakimi, thank you very much for the time being. We'll hear more from you two at half-time, more from Tomo in just a second, of course. Hopefully, plenty to come from Wolverhampton Wanderers against Brighton and Hove Albion. It's live next.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
The Old Goal Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molineux on a few occasions, and I'd never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those 2 games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in for me, and even more so when after having a tough first 4 or 5 months that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Goal Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
The penultimate home game of the season against a Brighton side who very much enjoy playing at Molineux. Wolves haven't beaten the Seagulls in the last 6 meetings here, failing to score in the last 4. The Old Gold have also never won a top-flight match between these two in 11 attempts. Fabio Silva's goal at West Brom on Monday was only the 10th time all season that Nuno's side have taken the lead, and they remain the only team not to lose when opening the scoring. Brighton, though, have kept 9 clean sheets in their last 16, including 4 in their last 6, so goals may be hard to come by. But back in January, these two played a 3-3 out of 3-3 draw, so anything is possible. Nuno has made 5 changes from the side that started Derby Day on Monday. Rui Patricio continues in goal. Kiana Hoover comes in to start in place of Nelson Semedo, who drops to be amongst the substitutes. Max Kilman is in for Romain Saiz alongside Connor Cody in the centre of defence. Ryan Aït-Nouri continues at left back. Fit again, João Moutinho returns alongside Ruben Neves in the centre of midfield. Morgan Gibbs-White is in to start ahead of Owen Otasawi. And Daniel Podence comes in for Adama Traore, with Vitinha continuing behind Fabio Silva. For Brighton, Robert Sanchez is their goalkeeper. Expected back 3 of Ben White, Lewis Dunk and Adam Webster. Aroretse, Johan Bach and Dan Burn. The wing-backs, Yves Basuma, Pascal Gross in midfield. Leandro Trossard behind Neil Maupay and Danny Welbeck, who scored a sublime goal last weekend against Leeds. Let's hope he's a lot quieter today.
Well, hopefully he is going to be. So look, again, he's got the talent and experience, doesn't he, from playing at top flight football, some big clubs. But again, he's just saying, I just talking to Bully, just saying that he always finds a tough game against Brighton and teams like Burnley, for whatever reason it is. But again, you say, look, you've just got to make sure that we go out there and perform and make sure we do it right. I just think it's going to be important that if we get the opportunities, because we did have a lot of opportunities against West Brom last week, that we try and take some more. So look, was it 20 attempts on goal last week? Still only scored 1 goal, so it's not a great record at finishing things off.
Well, we are about ready to go. Jonathan Moss is the man in the middle. Wolves in their gold shirts with the black sleeves, black shorts and gold socks. Brighton in blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. And it's Neil Maupay stood over the ball. Wolves defending leads to Jack Haywood, South Bank away to our right-hand side. The Stancullis North Bank away to our left. Steve Ball stand on the far side as the players take a knee. And we, as ever, are at the front of the top tier of the Billy Wright stand. The last game, we very much hope, without supporters here at Molineux. With the ballot being made in the last couple of days for fans to join us for the Manchester United game on the final day of the season. We have missed you greatly, and we will be looking forward to ever more of you being back with us next season as Dan Burn fouls and Wolves get themselves a free kick. He went over the top of Morgan Gibbs-White.
Yeah, that'll be a great day when it's the last game of the season and the actual Wolves fans in the ground. Looking forward to it.
Well, with you and the likes of Bully and Robert Plant alongside you, there have been some Wolves fans inside the stadium this season.
Well, he's made enough noise for some of them, hasn't he, Bully? With his commentary.
He certainly has. As Webster plays it back. It does look like Brighton have gone with a back 4. Anticipated that it might be a 5. At the moment, Ben White at right back, Dan Burn on the left, and Johan Bach a little bit further forwards. Almost matching up with Wolves in a 4-2-3-1, it seems.
Yeah, it looks like that, doesn't it? It looks like that.
This is Webster running towards halfway, switching it across to Dan Burn. All 6'6" of him as he runs it forwards down that left-hand side. Trossard trying to twist and turn. It was well blocked off in the end. Neves just about plays it infield to Moutinho, back to Patricio, who calmly plays it low to Aït-Nouri on the left-hand side. No danger of any awkward bobbles. I know Tomo is very much impressed with the Molineux surface.
Yeah, it looks outstanding, doesn't it? Just said, as I said to you before the game, I said, like, just looking at that, if you think that you've only got one more game left on this at the Molineux. So look, it's unbelievable, the condition of it.
It's an absolute carpet, isn't it? Lovely surface to play football on for players like Vitinha and Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri tackled by Basuma. Wolves throw just inside their own half. We have played 2 minutes on this Sunday lunchtime at Molineux. A few fluffy white clouds in the sky, but plenty of blue sky above us. It's not quite as warm as maybe many would hope. You'll see Nuno wearing his big, thick winter coat still.
Yeah, still got that chill, haven't we? So, but I think it's just perfect conditions today. It's the right temperature for it as well.
Neves wide to the right-hand side to Gibbs-White. Hoover's gone running on the overlap. It's Gibbs-White to play it infield to Vitinha. Now Neves for Moutinho. A 1-2 between those two, and Neves wide to the right-hand side for Hoover. Back to Neves, and under pressure from Mopé. Going back to Cody. Kilman for Moutinho. I mentioned it there just before we went to the break, Tomo, about so many players who will be more than happy to have the ball at feet in this Wolves lineup.
Yeah, they will. So look, and I think that's why he's introduced the players that he has. So look, there's a lot of players out there who have got kind of a point to prove as well, I think, with the way that we've gone about it.
Well, Podence has set Aït-Nouri away, and Aït-Nouri driving up towards the edge of the penalty area, pulls it infield to Vitinha. Vitinha trying to strike from distance and just wide, and it took a deflection on its way through. Lovely early effort. Good interplay down this left-hand side between Podence and Aït-Nouri, and Aït-Nouri with the awareness to look up and pick out Vitinha. He could have laid it on one, decided to go for goal himself, and he wasn't far off.
No, he's just unfortunately just slipping, wasn't it, Vitinha? But again, Aït-Nouri, what he finished off what he did last week as well. I think that he's just grown in confidence. Oh, great save, by the way, by Sanchez.
Fingertips of Sanchez diverted it wide.
But he was positive last week, wasn't he, Aït-Nouri, down this left-hand side.
Moutinho with a corner, right-footed from the left-hand side. Plays it short to Podence. Podence has turned away from Basuma cleverly and pulls it back, and Neves tried to flick it goalwards, and it's looped up and out of play. Something they'd worked on the training ground, didn't quite come to fruition.
No, it's good play. It was good play there. So a great little turn by Podence. Just thought that Neves could have probably struck it hard and low. So a lot of bodies in there. You can see what he's trying to do. He's just dink it round the corner or just loft it up. But again, so how close he was, it might have been worth just having a swing at it with his left foot.
It was better from Daniel Podence as he intercepts. Pass from Johan and Fabio Silva trying to drive away from Webster down the left-hand side. He was head down, driving straight towards the penalty area, and he's won Wolves another corner as Ben White got back to him.
I'll tell you what, so we talk about the youngsters coming in and say, and already the two lads, Aït-Nouri and Silva, positive running down this left-hand side especially. But that's what you want to see. You want to see them taking the game to Brighton.
Yeah, good energy and urgency about Wolves in the opening 5 minutes. João Moutinho with the corner again, right-footed from the left-hand side in front of the North Bank. Its banner out of darkness cometh light. Bristling a little bit in the breeze as Moutinho waits for Podence to come short again, and this time it goes back to Moutinho. A couple of touches and now whips it in, and it was Fabio Silva who got a touch to it. It comes back. Moutinho nodding it down for Aït-Nouri. Infield to Morgan Gibbs-White, though I think Neves wanted it.
He wasn't happy, wasn't he, there, was he? You could see holding both hands out. I want the ball. And again, that's great to see the players wanting the ball, being positive with it.
There's Moutinho, Aït-Nouri on the left-hand side. Just showed a little bit too much of it to Trossard, but we'll get the throw in for Wolves.
Well, what we spoke about before the game, about the front lads keeping the Brighton players occupied, they're doing that. They're limiting Brighton having the ball and also keeping Brighton in their back third.
Cody to the right-hand side to Hoover, midway inside the Brighton half, couple in from the right-hand touchline. Gibbs-White takes over, finds Neves. Neves back wide again to Hoover. Hoover trying to dribble his way infield, back to Neves. Gibbs-White trying to make the run on the outside, but it was just cut out by Trossard. Cody will intercept the clearing pass forwards. Here's Neves, Gibbs-White, lifting it back infield, and Kilman under control ahead of Welbeck and finding Moutinho in the centre circle, who turns and looks forwards. Gibbs-White had made a run, but Moutinho can't find him and goes back to Cody.
Yeah, but they're looking confident on the ball. I know it's only, was it 6 minutes or so just played, but they're looking sharp.
Wolves have had an awful lot of the ball so far. It's that one Vitinha effort to show for it, really. A couple of corners have come from it. Here's Hoover on the right-hand side, back infield to Neves. Neves trying to switch the play. It's a lovely ball out to Daniel Podence, 5 yards from the left-hand corner flag, and Podence rather ran into his man and then got out-muscled somewhat by Ben White. Mope's clearance just aimlessly into the Wolves' half.
Yeah, well, Welbeck comes short, hasn't he, for the ball. Mope's just playing it into him. But again, it's good work from Wolves. So look, again, they've been positive with the play.
Coutinho, sit back from Vitinha into his own half to Kilman. Seen the best and worst of Daniel Podence, really, haven't we, in those last couple of minutes? The beautiful turn from the corner that led to an opportunity early on, and then just there when he kind of just kept it too close to Ben White, really.
Yeah.
Well, he's a good enough player, isn't he, just to go round him?
Yeah, he is. So look, he tried to just run him, didn't he? But Ben White's pretty quick. And he read it a little bit as well, so he was able just to get his body in between him. But yeah, so from Podence, I think in these last few games that we've got left, I want to see a lot more from him because there's no doubt in his talent. Because he hasn't played to his full potential, I think, in the last few games when he's come back from that injury. Maybe he's just feeling his way a little bit still, but we want to see a lot more from him.
There's a balance, isn't there, between keeping it simple sometimes, and the simplicity is often the best movement. But then the whole reason he's there is because he doesn't do the simple expected thing from time to time.
But it's making sure that you do it right. So look, even if there is something simple on, you play the simple ball. You haven't got to complicate it. You've got to go and try and hit that 30-yard ball when there's a 10-yard ball there. And at times, I think just through his selection and decision making, he's made the wrong decisions lately.
Webster on the right-hand side of his own penalty area. Back to Robert Sanchez. Now to the left-hand side for Dunk to find Byrne. Just blocked off by Gibbs-White. It'll be a Brighton throw, 10 yards inside their own half.
I think Brighton will give you a chance. If you push up against them, because they want to play from the back as well, I think Brighton will give you the chance to win the ball back if you set up right. Set those little traps, try and win the ball back.
9 minutes played and Wolves have had 73% possession in this opening period. Very much in control. Brighton with a little spell now as Dunk comes over the halfway line. There's a 1-2 with Basuma. Now infield to Mope. He's going to try and slide it through to White, but intercepted by Aït-Nouri, who played it early up to Podence. And Podence calmly doing the simple thing this time and finding Aït-Nouri to Kilman and now to Cody. A couple of yards outside his own penalty area. Connor Cody turning and finding the feet of Hoover. Back in field to Neves on halfway. Gibbs-White taking over and looking to switch the play from right to left and finding Aït-Nouri 5 yards over the halfway line. Back in field to Matinho, just to the left of the centre circle towards Fabio Silva, who I think was trying to flick it around the corner, Tomo, didn't quite make it. And Brighton get a free kick.
Yeah, you can see what he was trying to do. He was just trying to flick it, wasn't he? But it just got blocked off by the centre half of Brighton. But again, it's good that he's starting to see these little things, what's happening around him, trying to flick it, because he'll know from next time, hopefully, that he needs to come a little bit short and he just needs to get that little bit more of an edge in front of him.
Know that he has been talking recently about learning from Willian Jose in training.
Well, I think that's one of the ways of learning. So gameplay is another one, but learning from people who you got at the club, say, is massive to these youngsters coming through.
This is Dunk over the halfway line. Wolves 0, Brighton 0 on Matchday Live Extra on Wolves TV. 11 minutes played in the game as the sun shines bright at Molineux. A few of the floodlights are still on as well. Not sure they're entirely needed for a midday Sunday kickoff.
I was going to say, I saw that before the game started.
Ball played in towards Welbeck in the penalty area. Just got the wrong side of Kilman for a moment. Right hand side of the box. Cody does well to force him away. Your hand batch. Back to Ben White. Infield to Welbeck. Couple of yards outside the penalty area. On again for the run of Pascal Gross. Aït-Nouri's with him, forcing him outside the area. Little 1-2 with Ben White. Still Gross. Matinho thought he could steal it. Podence went in, but Brighton still have the ball. Your hand batch through the legs. And it's Trossard trying to pull it back. And good positioning by Kilman. Gross on the edge of the penalty area collects the ball to the right hand side to Johanbach. Back to Ben White. White, a little short pass to Trossard. Manages a 1-2 around Pedence, and now out to Johanbach, who whips a dangerous cross in, and Kiana Hoover with a very good header away, and it's a Brighton corner.
Yeah, well, two parts of that really. So good play from Brighton, little sharp plays around that penalty area, but good defence from Wolves. So look, again, staying strong. We've had a couple of runners nearly getting there, Brighton, but we've just been able to get a foot onto it or some kind of touch on it.
Pascal Gross will take the corner, right-footed from the right-hand side in front of the South Bank. Everybody back to defend in a gold shirt. Brighton did have quite a bit of joy from set pieces in the game in January. And they have the height of Byrne and Webster and Dunk to aim for. And it was a powerful header, and it's headed in. And just like that, the set piece works wonders again for Brighton. It's Lewis Dunk, the captain. Rose highest at the far post. Byrne climbed high too. It was just over his head. And Dunk's powerful header sent it past a helpless Rui Patricio and into the back of the net. Wolves 0, Brighton 1.
Well, I think a replica of Dennett theirs, wasn't it? Dennett Brighton. Again, off the corner. I think it was Dunk who scored that one. Yeah, so they've got to do better. Got to get somebody just to put something on him. He's just edged somebody out the way, just holding them off. Yeah. Is that a call there where we have people on the post? It was Neves. Do you put people on the post playing Brighton with the threat that they've got in the air? So, because they've got some big lads, decent delivery in. Does somebody on the line stop that, head it away or clear it?
No, it was Lewis Dunk's header at the Amex in January that got it back to 3-3 on that occasion. This time he has given his side the lead. And there is the element as well in this Wolves lineup where, barring Kilman, Wolves are not the biggest, and they ended up with Ruben Neves trying to mark big, strong centre-half in Dunk. And with all due respect to Neves, Dunk was always going to be the favourite.
Well, he's a powerful lad in the air, isn't he? So he was just holding Neves off as well. And again, so look with the aerial power that they've got, decent delivery, and you're always going to be troubled by it. Dan Byrne as well. It was a big asset for them in the air. And as you talked on there, they've got White, Webster, Welbeck. So they're quite a big side when you think about it.
And Wolves are not.
No.
So Brighton have the advantage early on at Molineux, though here's Vitinha to Pedence, up towards the edge of the penalty area, back in field to Vitinha, onto Neves. Neves lined up a shot from distance and Basuma got out to him. He just had to get it out of his feet there, Neves. He's tracking with Trossard at the moment. Trossard deep into the Wolves half. Get Tomo's view in a second as it comes to Johanbach. Johanbach setting himself and crossing through, and Hoover's touch loops high in the air. Patricio claims it, but I think it's already gone out of play. And there'll be another Brighton corner.
Yeah, and just getting back to the opportunity there, there's no reason for Neves to have a touch on there. If the ball's better to him, taking a little bit more care, he's hitting that first time. And Basuma says, doesn't he get the block on? So look, and that's the difference for me. So it's just that little bit of care sometimes that just lets us down. But again, a big threat again from Brighton on a set play.
Well, this looks like Morgan Gibbs-White is marking Dan Byrne. Now he's moving away now. Neves has got both Byrne and Dunk at the moment. Gibbs-White joining them as well. That's a massive mismatch, as Brighton's corner will come in right-footed from the left-hand side, and Byrne and Gibbs-White have both fallen to the floor, and the ball will be kept in play by the left-hand corner flag by Aït-Nouri. Wonder whether VAR will have a look at that. Gibbs-White and Byrne. Probably the only way Gibbs-White can stop Dan Byrne is by grabbing hold of him.
I was going to say, he's giving nearly a foot advantage away, isn't he? So he's a big lad, a big tall lad. But again, you can see the threat that they've got. Bit of movement in there as well, but that physicality, what they've got in the penalty area. And they've just got to try and limit those opportunities to put the ball in there, like your free kicks, your corners, because they are a big threat for Brighton.
Well, Welbeck has dispossessed Vitinha inside the Wolves half, and here comes Trossard. Trossard running into the penalty area now. Hoover still with him. Trossard towards the byline, and blocked off by Hoover, and Wolves will get the goal kick as the ball bounced back to him. And Dan Burn has been called over.
So they must
by
have said
Jonathan Moss.
Well, he must have been the culprit then if he's having a word with Dan Burn.
We've still not seen a replay of the Burn Gibbs White incident.
Here
we'll get it now on our screens. I don't know how you could give that either way, to be honest with you.
No, they're both kind of hooked onto each other, in there. He's got his arms over his shoulder. Gibbs White's got his arms around him.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way Gibbs White can get his arm over the shoulder of Dan Burn. So
not without a ladder.
There's Kiana Hoover. Wolves 0, Brighton 1, 17 and a half minutes played. Pedence now on the right-hand side and Gibbs White playing on the left as Neves picks up on it just to the right of the centre circle.
But we've said again, haven't we, a promising start from Wolves, not really took advantage of it, and then all of a sudden we go a goal behind. It's something that we've got to try and get rid of.
Yeah, well, we know conceding first has been an issue for a long, long time as Gibbs White can't quite keep it in on the left-hand side. Wolves, for the 22nd time in 35 games in the Premier League this season, conceding the first goal.
You look at those games and he's just chasing the game then. So look, and it makes it difficult. I know there's not much in it, but so you're always chasing the game and it's not a great place to be.
There's Burn. Now for Dunk. That's the left-hand side to Trossard. Midway inside the Wolves half, Brighton, and Burn had continued his run. It was blocked off by Hoover, but at the expense of a throw deep inside the Wolves half. The other slightly worrying point for Wolves really is that in 110 Premier League games under Nuno since promotion before today, Wolves haven't scored in the first half in 78 of them, which is remarkable, really.
It's a bad record to have, isn't it? It's not a nice record that you want to talk about.
There are a few teams that pick up more points than Wolves from losing positions, but there's Trossard, and Trossard trying to strike, blocked by Cody. Wolves continually putting themselves in a position where they have to come from behind. And Brighton are still threatening a second, and Aït-Nouri had to wait for it to come before he could turn and hook it out of play for a Brighton throw, and the away side are beginning to get to grips and take control of this.
Well, they've realised as well that Wolves are here for the taking if they just keep putting pressure on them and keep putting the ball in dangerous areas. And they're definitely doing that. We said that they'll play, and they will. But they've got to try and get a grip of this team because at the minute they're just coming out on top, Brighton. He said about the possession, was it 70-odd%? I bet it's more even
down
now.
to 60-40
Yeah,
now.
I was going to say, doesn't surprise me.
Mopé with Trossard. 30 yards from goal, infield to Johanbach. Johanbach out to the right-hand side to White. Sets himself. Looking back in field, a left-footed pass in towards Welbeck, who tried to tee it up for Mopé, and it was well read in the end by Hoover. And Gibbs White can now try and get Wolves moving forwards. And he flicked it in field towards Vitinha. In the end, Wolves have got themselves a throw deep down the left-hand side, though rather fortunate to do so.
Yeah, again, that's that care, isn't it? So like you're on the counter-attack, you've got players going forward. Fortunate they got away with it with a misplaced pass where I think it was Dan Burn ended up intercepting and kicking it out.
Norris throw to Gibbs White. Back here for Matinho. Infield to Neves. Switching the play out to the feet of Hoover. Pedence down the line. Vitinha is his nearest option in field. It goes to Pedence. Hoover continued his run and gets it now and then looks to whip across in, but goes all the way over the top of the penalty area and through for a throw. Down by the right-hand corner flag as Brighton look downfield. 21 minutes played. Wolves 0, Brighton 1. You can have your say. Use the hashtag Wolves Live. Rob Knight says he has an aversion to 5 a.m. kickoffs and not beating Brighton. Can't do much about the former, hoping for a change to the latter. Although he did predict a 1-0 Wolves win, and he said that's the last prediction I ever make. Or Cody. A little bit of a mistake from him, allowing Mopé to try and lift it forwards towards Welbeck. Welbeck bringing it down on the chest, but Cody is there to recover. Ruben Neves can find Hoover. Hoover to carry the ball forwards. Now Daniel Pedence scooping it in field. Hoover did well to make the most of that. Vitinha for Matinho to Neves, switching it for Ait-Nouri, and Ait-Nouri can carry it over the halfway line, leaves it for Gibbs-White, who was a little bit behind him. Ait-Nouri's run down the line, Gibbs-White trying to carry the ball in field. The Wolves left very central as Pedence came in field towards Gibbs-White. Neves has done well to flick it to the left-hand side to Ait-Nouri. Players in the penalty area. Ait-Nouri trying to force his way through. Again, a little bit of fortune as he didn't completely intend to flick it the way he did.
No, he went for a step over, didn't he? And he ended up just having a touch on it, which went straight to the defender.
Vitinha with a foot in, or free kick given against Vitinha. As Jahanbakhsh fell to the ground. I didn't think there was much in that at all.
No, I thought he had a touch on the ball and just follow through. He's ended up falling on top of him, hasn't he? But they've got to get themselves together. Got to believe that they can get something out of it. I just think the movement needs to be a little bit better when we are going from back to front. I think that the lads up there have got to do something short or give them an option. Because at the minute, Brighton are finding it pretty easy just to break Wolves down or just to win the ball back from Wolves.
Webster to Pascal Gross, who will look to try and switch the play out to Dan Burn on the left-hand side, back to halfway to Basuma, just the left of the centre circle. A few yards behind him is Lewis Dunk, who takes over now, the goal scorer. Allowed to carry the ball over the halfway line, wide to the feet of Dan Burn. Burn up against Pedence is one of the most ridiculous mismatches you'll ever see in terms of height. Dan Burn is nearly 2 Daniel Pedences tall.
Was he 6'6", 6'7", Dan Burn? Was it Pedence? He's 5'6"?
On a good day.
On a good day with heels on.
Here comes Burn again. Infield to Basuma. Little flick by Welbeck to Mope. Kilman was holding him off. It comes through to Jahanbakhsh. Low cross in, and Cody put it behind for a corner. Maybe a touch fortunate. That didn't find its own.
I'll tell you what, that was too close to mention there. Sound like when he's come across Cody.
From our angle, at least, it might well feel wider when we see it from behind goal.
Oh,
starting to get his foot in the way, Connor Cody.
But they're just finding space, and what's causing a problem for us, didn't they? Just seem to have that extra man at the moment.
Gross again to take the corner, right-footed from the right-hand side. 24.5 minutes played at Molineux. Gibbs-White still marking Dan Burn. Jean Matinho, I think, is on Ben White. And now Vitinha appears to be on Webster. As Gross whips it in, it goes to the far post. It's looping again, and this time it's a super save by Rui Patricio towards the far post. I think it was Lewis Dunk once more.
It was.
Who met it forcefully at the far post, this time a bit further out and leaning back, and he got height on it, and that allowed Patricio to scamper across and palm it away.
Well, I think because he's leaning back, he hasn't been able to generate the power he had from the first one, and I think it's just allowed Patricio just to get across.
Gross, corner, right-footed from the right-hand side again. Whipped in, headed goalwards, but straight, this time at Rui Patricio. Well, this is I mean, I don't know what they could do, Tomo, to arrest this. They're trying to make Kilman as a loose man on the edge of the 6-yard box as Wolves' tallest player, but there are 4 for Burnley that are completely mismatched who are able to run towards the ball.
Well, they've got to do something. They've got to try and stop the supply, i.e. stop giving away corners. Or they've got to try and pick something where they can try and block them off it somehow. Like I say, Kilman going on Dunker's Dunk's won every header off a corner so far.
And here's Patricio with the ball at feet, trying to lift it to the left-hand side to Ait-Nouri. Oh, lovely piece of control from Ryan Ait-Nouri. And then he fell to the floor and kicked the ball over the halfway line.
We're just not firing, are we? So
No.
look, it just stop-start kind of play from us. So you can see that Brighton are quite fluent in the way that they're playing and the way that they're moving the ball around. But we just seem just to stop-start, win the ball back, then give it back to Brighton.
This is Sanchez on the edge of the D of his own penalty area, the Brighton goalkeeper, all in a luminous green. Patricio in his luminous colours down the other end. No chance that either goalkeeper will be missed. They're in those kind of kits. luminous orange, or probably say, on Patricio's. As Chase goes in field here from Johan Batch, and it's Trossard to lift it in towards Welbeck. Far side of the penalty area, back to Mopé to strike it high and wide and behind for a goal kick, but it's a very good opportunity crafted again for Brighton.
They're just sharper. They're just sharper at the minute. Just on our heels. You're just watching there. Welbeck's just struggling to get the header. All he can do is just head it down, but Mopé's straight onto it. Oh, got to be sharper. Got to try and pick it up a little bit.
First 10 minutes, Wolves had what, 75% possession. It's now back to 56-44, still in Wolves' favour, but since that time, Brighton have now had 5 efforts on goal, 3 of them on target, and they are looking much more threatening.
Yeah, they are. They look more of a threat, more comfortable, if anything.
Lift out by Sanchez was over the top of White. It was good pressure put on by Fabio Silva. Nori with the throw. It feels like the responsibility is with those 3 behind Fabio Silva to get on the ball and get into areas where they can slide it through to him.
I just think that we're struggling to get anything now at the minute. So like, just watching it, we started really well. I thought we was quite positive in the way that we played, looked sharp. But because of the way that Brighton have played and the goal that they've got, it just seems to have knocked the stuffing out of us a little bit.
Kilman for Vitinha. Vitinha with Mopé in front of him at the base of the centre circle, finding Matinho, who let it roll past him. I don't think he meant that, but Hoover made the most of it, and Hoover trying to drive forwards. Basuma just put him off, and Brighton winning possession back.
You just look at the way that Brighton are set up when they've got the ball. They're set up.
Oh, long one for Welbeck, and Welbeck using his speed. Cody's done really well to get back across in front of him and just use his strength to step across, because Welbeck looked like he'd got him beat for pace there. It allowed Patricio to get out. As Pedence is caught late by Ben White. Wolves free kick on the left-hand touchline.
Yeah, so just got to shorten it up a little bit, mate. But it's just touching on there. Brighton are set up when they do win the ball back, they can counter-attack just in one pass, that causes Wolves problems. And you just saw it there again with Welbeck. Just one ball down the side to him.
So what feels noticeable to me, Tomo, without Traore and obviously without Neto, Wolves just don't really have that option of someone just to carry the ball a little bit.
Yeah, and drive you up the field a little bit. But also as well,
Welbeck onto Mopé. Across comes Kilman on the edge of the penalty area. Welbeck will get the loose ball, but ends up conceding a goal kick for Wolves.
But if you're a team as well playing against Wolves with none of those players in it, you know you can hold a line, you know you can push up, because there isn't anybody out there in the Wolves team that's got blistering pace or got pace that can get behind you. So they're happy to play a high line. Now, if you've got Traore, you've got Neto and people like that coming into the side, all of a sudden, a little bit more weird. I think one of their lads said when you spoke to him earlier about the team, what Brighton had, and he said, we might play this way because Traore's not playing. So that tells you everything. So look, they might adapt the way that they play because of him not playing, because he's a problem to them.
Coutinho poking the ball forwards. Webster will play it back to Sanchez. He's under pressure from Fabio Silva this time, but his kick went all the way through to Mopé. Neves challenging. Basuma and Mopé came away with the ball though, and Basuma driving deep into the Wolves half. Neves got back with him, and Nori to try and tidy things up. Clearing it towards Fabio Silva, but it's an easy header for Webster. Matinho first to the loose ball. Fabio Silva trying to hold it up, has done so on halfway, turns and looks forwards for an option. Pedence lost it, comes back in field to Vitinha. Vitinha back to Neves, taking the safe option. Hoover had made a good run wide.
Yeah, just can't break that barrier down from Brighton coming at the moment. So they always just seem to be get a tout or something.
Coutinho for Nuri down the left-hand side, looking to drive again, and rather just ran into Ben White that time. He's still chasing for the ball, Nuri. As Gross clears it forwards up to Welbeck, who held that up really nicely on halfway. Finds Mopé. Mopé with a slightly strange ball back into his own half, but at least Brighton are keeping hold of the ball.
I don't think he was aiming for him. I think he was aiming for Dan Burn there. But it was two of them there, fortunate for them.
Well, they've got plenty of giants at the back. Doesn't matter which one you go for. They're all easy to spot. Trossard infield, Gross's first time cross, headed away by Cody. Gibbs-White to Neves, and Neves lifting it forward, and Gibbs-White will get to this, but he's all on his own on that right-hand side. He's done really well to hold it up and wait for support. Neves finding Vitinha. Now Fabio Silva back infield to Vitinha, just left-hand side of the centre circle. Cross it for Neves. Gibbs-White ahead of him, Hoover out wide. Go back infield to Vitinha. Vitinha now finding Gibbs-White, and Wolves have slowed the play down, and Brighton have then got 9 outfield players back behind the ball.
And that's what they've done well. So when Wolves do look like they're getting attacked, because the build-up play has been a bit slower, they've been able to get bodies behind the ball, and that's where they've been hitting them on the counter-attack, just with that one ball going forward. Oh, just watching Hoover there.
Yeah, he made another great run. Vitinha has it, though. Now for Moutinho, onto Pedence, left-hand side, just inside the penalty area, pulling it back for João Moutinho. Moutinho infield to Gibbs-White, set it here for Neves. Neves just evades the referee to find Aït-Nouri, and Aït-Nouri's low ball in. Vitinha to get it back onto his right foot. He was trying to tee it up for Moutinho. And Moutinho having to carry it to the right-hand side, and it's Fabio Silva back infield to João Moutinho, who lifts it into the box. Nobody there, and comfortable for the goalkeeper.
Well, there you go. There's an example of why Wolves don't score many goals. How much possession they had there? A couple of minutes possession, just passing it across the box, and I think not one of them having a shot. Nothing opened up. And that's been the story, basically, of what we've been doing lately. Load of little possession, little play, without no opportunity of actually taking anything. And it just comes to a fizzle kind of thing, just straight into the Brighton keeper's arms.
But you know, like in the defence of someone like Vitinha there, that's where you would want Neves or Moutinho to be literally making that movement to say, just set it for me.
Yeah.
Don't pass it to me and make me have to take a touch. I'm going to run onto it.
Well, that's what we saw earlier when I said to you, selling the ball to Neves earlier, where he's had to have that touch. It should be a pass to him where he can strike it first time. And that's what they should be set up at. The players around him, little roll to him, somebody's having a shot.
But how much of that is Neves and Moutinho would have to say, look, they'd have to make that direct movement, not just be passive and wait for it. Yeah. Actually say, look, just put it there, I'm coming.
Well, I've said to you before.
It's Trossard, by the way. We'll come back to this. As Trossard forwards on the right-hand side, Aït-Nouri and Pedence forcing him towards the corner flag, and that's gone out of play, and it'll be a goal kick.
Well, I've said to you before, when people want to pass the ball, it's runners that make your mind up if you're going to pass it. And if you've got nobody there, you hold on to it, have another 2 or 3 touches, and then all of a sudden everything closes down. By making runners, they're the ones who give you that option to be able to shoot.
And I would say the two so far who are making the most runs off the ball are Gibbs-White and Hoover.
Yeah. Well, look, we've watched Hoover 2 or 3 times do that overlap, and we still haven't picked him out once. And that's one of our strengths as well, with what we've had in recent times, where we've played that diagonal over the back line, which has opened teams up. But we haven't done it today.
Sanchez with a kick forwards. It's over the top of Kilman. Cody wins it in the air. Neves flicking it on. It's too far ahead of Moutinho. Gross to clear it back over the halfway line. Aït-Nouri in with a penalised for the challenge on Trossard again. Felt like there wasn't a great deal wrong with it. Maybe just wrapped his foot round Trossard a little bit.
Well, so I watched a couple of tackles over the weekend, which...
I don't think he got the ball. He don't get it from that angle.
But I've seen a couple of tackles over the weekend where they've won the ball, but then the player's gone falling over the player that's tackled, and they've given free kicks. And I know some of the other pundits have said, like, you can't tackle anymore, and it's coming to that case now.
Better back in your day, when it?
Oh, bit of physicality never hurt anybody, did it?
Says the diminutive fullback / midfielder. There's Trossard on the edge of the penalty area. Aït-Nouri had to be careful. He was trying to steal the ball and could have got his legs wrapped and tangled with Trossard. Brighton recycle via dunk to the left-hand side to Burn.
What you're looking at that there, how they've set up Brighton, they've just left Silva on his own. If Traore or Neto was playing, I don't think they'd be doing that. I don't think they'd be giving him that much time and space. I think somebody's marking him.
Well, shoving the back by Fabio Silva on dunk, got away with it. Daniel Pedence with a flick that he didn't need to make in the centre circle. If he'd just got his foot to it and taken it himself, they could have carried the ball forwards. And he just tried to flick it with the outside of his boot and
I think
try and get a free kick.
I think that's got to stick. He's got to take care of that for me.
Well, Brighton have got on with it quickly, and it's played towards Welbeck, a little bit wider than he wanted it. It's got support though from Jahanbakhsh, infield to Mopé. Now Gross to Dan Burn on the Brighton left. Jahanbakhsh again. He's up against Gibbs-White, who did really well, and he'll be released here by Hoover. Burn tracking back with him. And then Gibbs-White can't find a route back to Hoover, though he's still battling for the ball. He's frustrated, Morgan Gibbs-White, but I would suggest that he is still very much trying and got to keep his head up and keep going.
Yeah, I'll give him a dues there. So look, at least he's having a go at it.
Trying to use the opportunity that he's got in these last couple of games, perhaps.
Well, I think it's going to be a big year for a lot of players at the club. I think that if we're going to go back to that back four, as we talked about earlier, then he's got to make a lot of decisions about the formation that we're going to play, who's going to play in those positions.
There's Kilman. Now finding Ait Nouri. Back to Max Kilman, 10 yards outside his own penalty area. Across to Cody. Cody looking to knock it long. Flag has stayed down against Gibbs-White, who couldn't quite control, and out of play for a Brighton throw. Flag might have gone up eventually, looking at some of the Brighton reactions. Throw in, taken to Basuma, back to Burn. For Dunk to try and clear it forwards, but the right footer on the left, it curled out of play for a Wolves throw. A couple of Wolves subs, and a couple more Wolves subs heading out to have a run, including Theo Corbeanu, who still waiting for his first team opportunity. Wolves get another throw just inside the Brighton half. I mean, the one thing of giving the youngsters an opportunity is that the bench is pretty strong today for Wolves. Likes of Dendoncker, Semedo, Traore, Willian Jose.
Well, look, so if you're involved in the first team squad, doesn't matter if you're young, experienced, or whatever, at the end of the day, so like, you've got to be able to go out there and perform. If you're going to step up and make sure...
Neves lifting it in towards Gibbs-White, bounced awkwardly off him. Dan Burn just falling over, put him off it as the ball was coming towards him. Wolves keeping it going. Ait Nouri for Pedence on the left. Pedence running into White, trying to drift back in field. Has support from Neves. And White and Pedence going down off the ball as it finds the feet of Fabio Silva. And now Vitinha. Wide to Ait Nouri. Not a lot to aim for in the penalty area, so it comes back in field to Neves, who looks to find Gibbs-White. Gibbs-White was trying to tee it up for a volley, and Basuma got across in front of him, and Gibbs-White ended up whacking Basuma and giving away a free kick.
There you go. So again, sound like he did well, Gibbs-White, just to create that opportunity. But straight on him, Basuma.
He knew what he was doing, Gibbs-White. He teed it up. It would have been something outrageous. Never scored a league goal for Wolves. He has the one goal in his Wolves career, and it was a tap-in against Punic in the Europa League qualifiers. Seems like a long time ago.
It does, doesn't it?
Seems like we've had more than one season since then. I mean, kind of last season was split in two.
I was going to say, it just seemed to be continuous, doesn't it?
And a misplaced pass by Sanchez gives Wolves a throw-in. We into the final 5 minutes of the first half. Still Wolves 0, Brighton 1. These Wolves have got a little bit more to grips with it in the last 5 minutes or so. They haven't had an effort really of note. Kilman will settle for a throw inside his own half. Gibbs-White and Pedence have switched over again. Pedence hoping for a bit more joy against Dan Burn. It's a clever throw by Ait Nouri, and Neves have made a lovely run. It's only really the option to playing into the space for Hoover to chase onto, and Hoover's done really well here. Right hand side of the penalty area, low one in, deflected behind for a Wolves corner. He's had a good half, Keanu Hoover.
Yeah, he's done okay, hasn't he? He's made some runs. He's been unfortunate that a lot of the ball hasn't come to him. He did on that occasion, showed you his pace, but got to try and pick somebody out, haven't we? I know Brighton are throwing everything at it. Yeah, he's got to miss that first man. Dan Burn, I think.
Fabio Silva had made the run to the near post,
Yeah.
didn't he? That's what he was aiming for.
And that's where we've got to try and bypass that first man.
Martinho with a corner, right-footed from the right-hand side. Kilman and Cody and Neves and Fabio Silva the targets. It's headed away by Byrne. Hoover tried to lift it back in. Gibbs White is the deepest man here for Wolves, and he finds Aït-Nouri to the left-hand side. Wider out to the left to Neves. Back in field here to Vitinha. Now for Max Kilman, who dropped back into position, and Cody taking over. Lifted it high to Neves on the left. Neves in towards the feet of Pedence. Pedence plays it behind Aït-Nouri, and now to play for a Brighton throw.
Finding it difficult to break this Brighton team down, aren't they? So to create anything. I can say they've had some good possession in good areas. They just haven't been able to cause a problem for them.
Ben White's throw. 2 minutes to go until half-time. Thrown into your handbatch, foot in by Martinho. And then Pedence rather smashed it across field, and it meant Dan Burn can carry it forwards over the halfway line. Trossard back in field to Dunk. If you're Nuno, are you thinking of changes immediately at half-time?
I think he's got to do something. I know he doesn't like to until he at that hour mark, but I think we've got to do something because at the minute it feels like we haven't put a glove on Brighton. And I think that the back lads would expect him Traore to be playing. They'll be over the moon that he's not.
There's White up to Welbeck, right hand side of the penalty area, forced wide by Kilman, forced all the way to the corner flag by Kilman. It's had to get support from your handbatch. Back in field to Welbeck, that was a little bit too easy.
Yeah, I was just about to echo that. I thought that was just too easy there. So like he's in a tight area and like we've not touched tight, and he was just able to get out of it.
Burn on the left, infield to Trossard. Now looking for Mope. Gross to Basuma, a couple of yards out of the centre circle. Pedence just about intercepted it and then got caught. Rough challenge by Ben White. Pedence turned his back on him and White slammed into him. He's on his feet, he's okay.
I know I'm favourable for Wolves all the time with decisions, but I don't think there's much wrong with that. No. Just watching the replay. Is it the ball? White? I don't think there's much wrong with that.
Just a bit of a coming together, really,
more
than anything, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's Kilman for Neves. Dropping into the right back position. Further down the line for Hoover. Hoover trying to run away from Trossard. We're going to have 1 minute of time being added on at the end of the first half. Vitinha, left-hand side of the centre circle for João Martinho. Martinho trying to spot the run of Fabio Silva. Oh, and the header from Webster nearly dropped to him. It was fortunate for Brighton that Dunk was right there.
Well, he couldn't put the brakes on, could he, Silva? So he's just dropped down there. He just couldn't put the brakes on when he's trying to get to it. Bit unfortunate.
Gross wide to the left-hand side for Byrne. Get the views of Lee Naylor and Carl Ikeme at half-time, which is only seconds away. You can keep putting your views. Use the hashtag Wolves Live as your handbatch coming forwards down the right-hand side and a low cross in, and Cody well positioned to clear. And Aït-Nouri completing the clearance by hooking it towards the centre circle. Basuma picking up on the ball, and that's the final action of the first half. Wolves got off to a really good start inside that first 10 minutes. Were completely dominating possession. Vitinha's shot was just turned wide by the fingertips of Robert Sanchez, but a Brighton corner after 13 minutes, their first real effort of the game, found Lewis Dunk, who powered his header past the despairing dive of Rui Patricio. Patricio managed to palm away another dunk header as Brighton looked very dangerous from set pieces especially. Wolves have had plenty of the ball. They haven't really followed up on that opening 10 minutes by putting pressure on the Brighton goal. And at the break, it's Wolves 0, Brighton 1.
No, and that's the problem for me. So I just think that Brighton have looked pretty comfortable defending against Wolves. I think that Wolves are just missing that cutting edge up front. I think it's comfortable in the way that they know that there's not going to be a threat to run beyond them, and they're able to push up. But they're a massive threat on set plays, and we've got to try and stop the people heading the ball, but also as well, we're giving away silly free kicks and corners. As I said, they're a big threat with the lads that they've got in the team. But again, I think they'll be disappointed with the way things have gone. I think they need to be better up in that top third for me. Need to be closer and trying to put a little bit more pressure on them and make it more difficult. But again, so like Nuno will have a lot to speak to at half-time, I think, to his players.
Well, from Andy Thompson, we'll also hear from Carl Ikeme and Lee Naylor on Matchday Live Extra. Their thoughts on the first half coming next.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Join the pack. Become a 2021 member online today. Whether you're a dribbler joining for the first time or an international fan supporting from afar. Being a Wolves member gets you an exclusive joining gift, £10 Megastore voucher, and exclusive offers from Wolves and our partners. For more information and to join, visit membership.wolves.co.uk.
Wolves Lottery is committed to helping Wolverhampton and the local community improve, whilst giving fans the chance to win some fantastic money-can't-buy prizes, excellent Wolves experiences, as well as £1,800 given away every week. For more information and to sign up online, visit wolves.co.uk/Wolves-Lottery.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear, and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Half-time at Molineux then. Wolves 0, Brighton 1. The stats for the first half, Wolves just about edging possession in the end, 53% to 47. Three shots on goal, only one on target. One off target and one blocked. Brighton with 5 shots, 3 on target, 1 and 1. Brighton having 4 corners to Wolves 3. Wolves just edging the passing in terms of the accuracy, 87% to 85%. And they have had more successful dribbles as well. But we'll get to the set piece element in a minute, Carl Ikeme. But just thoughts on how the first half has gone overall.
I thought we started brightly for the first 10 or so minutes, 15 minutes. It looked like we was passing it sharp with intent as well. And then the game just started to turn a little bit. We don't look in control when we're defending. It's a bit. I don't think I'm just saying it as a fan who's feeling anxious when we're defending. I feel like we look a little bit vulnerable, and we're not really creating any cutting edge chances going forward. So probably disappointing half in whole, and obviously to concede from a set piece is never a good thing. But at the same time, they look dangerous from every set piece they put in the box as well. So it's something that we need to get control of, and we also need to create more chances, as we've said many a time here at half time.
Lee Naylor, you were shaking your head then, but I don't think you were disagreeing with Carl. I think you were very much agreeing with what he was saying, weren't you?
Absolutely. I think, first and foremost, I thought it was a great start from ourselves. I thought they moved the ball really fast, getting into pockets. Everyone wanted to be on the ball. And then all of a sudden, ball goes up to Welbeck. And, they've turned us and getting at us. And then straight away, we look really nervous. And then come the set piece. I think, if you're going to set up like that, where you've got smaller players marking taller, stronger players, just be difficult to beat. Just make a nuisance of yourself. And I didn't think they'd done that on the goal. I think soon as we started taking 3, 4, 5 touches on the ball is when we lost control of the game. I think we looked at a place after the first attack, and then you got Neves on dunk, which is a total match. Sorry, and it caused us problems from there. Corners, set pieces, everything. I thought Hover made some great runs down the right without getting put in. I thought he done well. I thought Ain't Nuri had a great start, but then he fizzled out of it, and then his defending become a bit of a mystery. I think there's a lot of improvement there that needed.
Tomo, you made the point that if you've got that kind of mismatch, trying to defend the land of the giants when Brighton come forward for set pieces, should you have someone on the post?
Yeah, well, I mentioned that. I said I think it'd be interesting to hear what the lads think as well. But I'll just think that if you're mismatched and the power that they've got on set plays, because they've got, was it 5 or 6 big players? We've got Kilman. So look, and we're struggling against them physically and aerial as well. I'm just wondering if you would put somebody on the post, because say, I know in hindsight, if you put someone on the post, they're clearing the goal off the line. But knowing that they're a threat, and they are a threat on set plays, we knew it from when we played them down at their place, that they're going to be a threat on set plays. What would you do?
Yeah, sorry, Carl. Sorry, Tom. For me, there's always, you can always have a mismatch. I mean, Tomo, you weren't the biggest, but you come up against tall players, and you made it hard for them to win headers or get to the ball or make a run on you because of where you started or just a bit of body check. You gotta have that football intelligence to stop them running at you to get that run on you. If you make it difficult, it's a very hard header for them to go and score a goal. Then
I think also. I think it is a mismatch. It's difficult, like now I said, make it difficult. But what we've done as well before each other, I'm not too sure if Nuno would do this or change it up, is maybe leave 3 up and try and play a bit of cat and mouse to try and take a couple of their defenders out, and then that might give Max a chance to maybe just have a one-on-one with Dunk or whoever they choose to leave up, and maybe they'll leave Burns and Webster back if we do leave, because having Vitinha, Prudence and them sort of players in the box, they're not going to be much use to us, let's be honest. But if we leave 3 of them up, then maybe we'll stop them sending all their big centre halves up, or take one or 2 of them out and give us a better opportunity to defend it.
Yeah, but also as well, I think that we need some pace up there, don't we, to give them a threat? Because at the minute they've been very comfortable marking because they've got nothing that's going to run beyond them. They've got nobody who's going to actually, if you put a ball over the top, who are going to cause them with their pace a big problem. And I think Brighton have done it really well, where they've realised that and they've held quite a high line, knowing that ball's not going to hurt them over the top. So I think that he's got to make a decision at half time, isn't he, if he's going to bring anybody on.
Yeah, I think the right back has got in a few times down the right. I think the ball's been on for him about 4 or 5 times, but we only done it. We only done it once in the half, and that was towards the end. And he's put a cross in him. We've got the corner, maybe a bit more better quality there, but just that we've got to have the confidence to put that ball in there sometimes. You know what I mean? It's all nice playing in front of people, having 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. But if you're making no progress into the box or making an opportunity for your teammate, then what is that doing?
Yeah, as well as me, Nels. There's nothing worse as a defender than running back towards your own goal with somebody chasing you down. And surprised Conor Cody hadn't done it, because he's got it in his locker. He can play that ball. We've seen him many times playing that diagonal ball. I'm very surprised that he hasn't hit Hoover on numerous occasions.
Yeah, agree.
It feels sometimes like, I think now as you made this point, where as soon as they started taking more touches, like in that first 10 minutes, we saw Fabio Silva knock it past Webster and just go at him. And a couple of other players did it. And it almost felt like as soon as they conceded, they started kind of not making those same kind of passes and maybe moving away from the ball rather than coming towards it, Carl. Is that fair? Do you see that in them? It just seems like
you could see it was like it's happened before this season. I say when we have conceded, and you can kind of see the sort of body language drop a little bit. Where I felt like maybe last season it didn't, and there's many elements of that. It might be a fact of we conceded first again, and it's like a sort of here we go in for a tough ride, and an element of the younger boys maybe not having the confidence to take it by the scruff of the neck as well. But it's like Niles, I totally agree with Niles what he said, saying we were taking too many touches, and it just gives Brighton a chance to get closer to us. And the them balls in behind, like Fabio hasn't probably run in behind as much as we'd liked, but Hoover has, and we have got to find them balls. I've been really impressed with him today. I think he's made really intelligent runs, and we're trying to go through the middle of Brighton and we're not getting through there. So if we're not doing that, we're gonna have to start going down the sides. And I feel like with Aït-Nouri and Hoover, I think they're probably the two that are going to go down the sides and try and get good movement patterns, because there's no point just lumping the ball in the box either there, because they're massive. So intelligence down the sides, cutbacks, passes across the 6-yard line, I think that's needed in the second half. And just we sort of talk, I'm probably contradicting myself, we're talking about the young lads taking an extra touch. It's also the likes of Neves, Moutinho, Codes hitting that ball as well. So, you know, it's a mixture of everything.
Okay, boys, the officials are back out. The teams will be with us very shortly. Thank you very much. More from Carl Ikeme and Lee Naylor after the final whistle here on a Matchday Live Extra. There aren't going to be any changes from Wolves at half-time. How long will Nuno leave it? We'll find out in a couple of minutes.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
The Old Goal Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molineux on a few occasions, and I never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in from England, and even more so when, after having a tough first 4 or 5 months, that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
Old Goal Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
So 2 teams are out. We are pretty much ready to get back underway here at Molineux. And there it is, back underway for the Second 45 minutes, Wolves trailing by a goal to nil. Can they find a route through and salvage something from this game? We've got quite a lot of money riding on it for Wolves Foundation to have quite a few goals in this second half. I need at least 2. Tomo needs 3 to make a bit of money for Feed Our Pack. Running through 2 teams in just a second as your hand match. Out muscles ain't Nouri and Gross lifting into the penalty area, but Patricio has come and called. Rolls it out to the feet of Neves, who will try and get Wolves moving at a bit more speed. Finds the feet of Gibbs White on halfway. Infield to Vitinha. Vitinha for Fabio Silva. Back for Vitinha, middle of the half to Matinho on the edge of the centre circle. Now for Gibbs White. Flicks it to Neves. First time for Hoover. Pedence is out on the right-hand side. Hoover's going to try and cut in field. Now a little back heel and finds the feet of Daniel Pedence. Pedence back to Kiana Hoover again. In towards Vitinha. Gibbs White taking over. Trying to feed it in behind for the run of Pedence. Overhits the pass and through for a goal kick. Wolves, Patricio in goal. Hoover, Cody, Kilman and Aït-Nouri. Neves and Matinho in midfield. Gibbs White, Vitinha and Pedence. All in support of Fabio Silva. Brighton with Sanchez in goal. Back four of White, Webster, Duncan, Byrne. Jahanbakhsh, Gross, Basuma and Trossard. And then Welbeck and Mopé up top. And Pedence has got it here. And now it's Fabio Silva, left-hand side of the penalty area and taken off him by Pascal Gross, who hoofs it out of play.
Yeah, a mistake from Brighton there, but they still couldn't capitalise on the opportunity.
Very right-footed there, Fabio Silva, wasn't he?
Yeah, and that's what he needs, something to improve. You've got to be, as a striker, go either way because it makes it predictable for your defending. Just show him inside.
Gibbs White, Pedence. Pedence has just played it into the penalty area to nobody in particular, really. Not entirely sure what he was thinking there.
I think he was trying to put Aït-Nouri on down that left-hand side, but he's never had the angle for it, did he? Never really had the angle because of the Brighton player standing where he was.
Well, Willian Jose is already out warming up, and so is Leander Dendoncker, as Brighton have kicked the ball straight out of play on the halfway line. Forces Graham Potter to step out of his dugout to the edge of his technical area. You can hear him applauding there, trying to get his team going.
And that's another decision. I'm surprised that he's playing Matinho and Neves in those central positions and not Dendoncker with one of them. I know Matinho's just coming back, but just gives you that little bit more physicality in there and getting in the box.
Good ball by Cody to Gibbs White. Gibbs White trying to run at Dan Byrne. Byrne just about holding him up, but Gibbs White still has it. Infield to Neves. Recycled via Matinho. Now to Kilman to carry it forwards, and Kilman might open out for a shot here for Max Kilman, and it did, and it bounces off the goalkeeper. And nobody followed it up.
Oh, you've got, as a striker or anybody around the goalkeeper, you've got to be following that in. It's a good strike from Kilman. You've got to be, it's come off in quite a distance as well. And that's just not an easy tap in, but it's an opportunity for somebody following in.
Wolves winning it back again through Matinho. Aït-Nouri to Vitinha. Aït-Nouri up towards the edge of the penalty area. Nearly came through to Gibbs White, who's done really well here, Morgan Gibbs White. Still running and striking it low and just tipped behind. And it will be a Wolves corner. Well, he's trying everything he can, Morgan Gibbs White, and he showed great strength and desire that time.
Well, fair dues to him, isn't he? So look, he's trying to battle. I say, seems to be the only one at the minute who's offering something in that top third. But again, he did really well there to hold off the defender and to actually make some space for himself. So, and he did pretty well in the first half. He battled pretty well in the first half.
It'll be Matinho with a corner, right-footed from the right-hand side. He's going to look to whip it in towards the near post, headed away by Basuma. Picked up by Hoover. Back down the right-hand side for Matinho. That's a nice ball whipped in, or it was just over the top of Cody. Sanchez will put his foot through it to clear, but only as far as the chest of Kiana Hoover. Matinho is still on this right-hand touchline. Back infield to Hoover, who will carry it forwards. That's a lovely cross in towards Fabio Silva, just just Dunk got there ahead of him and Brighton get it clear. That was nice from Kiana Hoover.
Yeah, it was. It was. Say just a fraction away, wasn't he, Silva? Just getting in front of the defender of Brighton.
Wolves 0, Brighton 1. 5 minutes played of the second half. In the sunshine at Molineux. It's warmed up so much. Nuno's taken his winter coat off. And perhaps he is feeling the heat. His team trailing by a goal to 0. Mopé. Wide out to that right side. Johanbach back for White. Infield to Dunk. There's a 1-2 with Webster. Brighton slowing things down at the moment. Wolves, in fairness, started the second half quite well. You could hear Cody screaming to Kiana Hoover there. Hoover let it go. Got the throw. Cody turning and looking downfield, and Gibbs White had set off, and Cody has found him with a lovely ball over the top. Gibbs White down the right hand side, putting it back to Vitinha. Vitinha just about holding off Basuma, and then sold his pass back to Gibbs White short, and Basuma able to get hold of the ball. That's frustrating. And then Vitinha clatters into Gross, and Brighton get a free kick.
Yeah, it was a shame, wasn't it? So, but that's the one what we're talking about. Get Brighton turned. So just put that ball in there. It's not just a boot up the field. It's a quality pass onto it.
Don't tell him, but Steve Ball's on camera up by the side of you. Scott Sellers as well there in the doctor's box just the side of us. Robert Plant is here too. Sherlock and Yana I can see on the other side. Tomo was just out of shot. Did he bring you another drink at half time?
No, it's half time, no.
Oh, only before the game.
Only before the game, mate.
Here's Mopé trying to drive on for Brighton, well intercepted by Aït-Nouri. Chatting to David Kelly recently when we did his episode of Old Gold Club, My Golden Game, that you can listen to online from where you get your regular podcasts. Here's Fabio Silva. Now then, Fabio Silva was surely dragged back, and that could be
he's off.
A red card it is. The Brighton captain is sent off. Lewis Dunk has gone.
Got to go. Goal scoring opportunity. He's away from him.
Big game-changing moment. Fabio Silva did really well to get him behind, and he was a long way still from goal.
I don't know what they're arguing about. You know what the outcome's going to be.
He's definitely onside.
Oh, he just grabbed his shirt. The goalkeeper's trying to say Sanchez that he just touched his shoulder. He's got a good hold of him.
I say he was at a fair old distance, still outside the penalty area, but nobody was getting back to him.
No, he was away. He's away. Look, Robert Plantier says, hurry up, get off the pitch. Got a point.
So Dunk, the goal scorer, sent off. Brighton will try and reorganise. And Wolves have a free kick that Neves and Matinho are setting up for. And perhaps something out of nothing might just have materialised to change the game. Saw it against Arsenal here. João Matinho to step up, steps over the ball. Neves striking it high and wide and behind for a goal kick.
Well, we've got to make sure we use this player wisely now, capitalise on it. And again, so look, I don't think they'll change much. They'll probably just go as a 3 at the back.
Well, it looks like White has gone in field and Johanbach will drop to play right back. And then they'll have Basuma and Gross protecting, and then effectively 3 up top. And just rather ominously, Adama Traore is just coming back towards the Wolves bench at the moment. There's Neves stepping in, getting it from Welbeck. Wolves still trailing, a different game now.
Well, you're just hoping now what you've got to do is just pull them around now, make them work for the game. Got that extra man.
Aït-Nouri running it forwards down the Wolves left. 55 minutes played, just under. Matinho for Neves. Out to the right side to Hoover. Trossard trying to get back with him. Hoover back to Ruben Neves. Neves trying to poke it through for the run of Hoover, who got there ahead of Byrne, and Byrne stretched out that long left leg and played it behind for a Wolves corner.
Well, Hoover seems to be the one who's driving forward, isn't he, from the fullback position? I know Aiton already can. But if he's willing to do that, try and put him in.
I think he's been really good today, Keanu Hoover. Wolves trying to get on with things. One ball went into the stand, and then balls from everywhere got thrown by stewards, and Rui Barbosa, the goalkeeping coach, with one from up pretty much halfway. Jean Martino has picked the one he wanted most. Can he find someone? Can he pick someone out inside that penalty area? He's going to play it short to Hoover. Hoover waiting for Martino to get back on side. Plays it back to Keanu Hoover. One touch, whips it in low and taken by Sanchez at the near post. It was a good ball in, actually.
Yeah, it was. I think that you just got to get across the front line there. Got to get across decent area. But now I think that Wolves can be a little bit, take more of a gamble now. I know you've still got to do a job on them, sell up with the 10 men, but I think when we've got the ball, I think you can start to push a little bit further forward.
Elsewhere, by the way, Wolves women are behind 1-0, playing Lincoln in a friendly cup competition. Pretty sure they've won all 3 games so far that they've played in that. Wolves women, Dan McNamara's side. On ball for Fabio Silva to chase. Put real pressure on Webster there. That's much better for Wolves.
Yeah, it is. Again, it's not a bad ball, getting them turned. So you've got people up there who are going to run.
Brighton change. It is Jakob Moder coming on, and they're going to make a second change as well. McAllister, Alexis McAllister coming on. So Johanbach is one of those going off. McAllister on, and Trossard will be the other player replaced.
Well, just showing you, they're just hanging on for what they've got, aren't they? So they'll just bringing people on who can defend a little bit.
And Adama Traore will join us shortly. He's got to get his wristband sorted, and I think the oil has just been passed to grease him up.
That's secret ingredient, is it?
I'm not sure it's that secret, but yeah. Neves switching the play out to Hoover. Lovely ball, actually. And Hoover now finding João Martinho. Down the line again for Hoover. Low cross into the near post, away by McAllister.
Somebody's got to make a run across that front area for me. We're all just hanging off in the middle or the back post. Somebody's just got to make a run. Get on the move.
There's João Martinho in towards Gibbs White. Nice take and turn and whipped in, and Fabio Silva couldn't quite get there. Gibbs White's done well to get it to Hoover again. Now Morgan Gibbs White once more stands his cross up towards the far post, and Moder's header away. Ait Nouri back to Neves. Gibbs White's calling for it. Neves, was he going for goal or a cross there?
I think he was looking at Gibbs White, I think.
But Morgan Gibbs White, I think, has had a really good game today. And he's very much involved in all the good play there.
Yeah, he has. So he's battled pretty well in the first half, didn't he?
So just to reorganise for you, Pascal Gross has now gone to right back. And I think it's going to be Basuma holding in midfield with Moder, McAllister and Mope, and then kind of Welbeck up top on his own, really, although Mope will provide as much support as possible. Brighton reorganise. Who does Adama Traore come on for?
I think Pedence for me. I think, like you said, Gibbs White's done okay. Or the only other one I would think about is he brings Vitinha off and plays Pedence in that number 10 role.
Ait Nouri to try and drive on here. Pedence making a run to his left and in behind, and Ait Nouri has found him, and Pedence into the penalty area, and he overcooked it. And they allowed Sanchez to get out and sweep the ball away from him.
Well, they're starting to cause more of a threat, though. They're starting to get behind the back line of Brighton. But again, what was it?
Oh, it's a great pass by Ait Nouri.
Oh, it is. It is a great pass. Just unfortunately, just out a bit heavy his touch, wasn't it? But we said that in the first half, that they've got to get behind them. We've got to try and push them back.
That's an accidental handball by Vitinha Brighton free kick just inside the Wolves half as we
Here's the
approach an
change.
hour gone. And an hour
Neves.
gone used to be Traore time. And here he comes. And I think Vitinha will drop back in alongside Moutinho. Ruben Neves to be replaced. Well, at least Wolves are going for it. You can't deny that.
Well, they've got to. They've got to try and get themselves back into the game. And again, we've seen signs of it where they are putting a little bit more pressure on Brighton.
There's Cody under pressure from Welbeck. Back to Patricio. Who will kick it first time left-footed downfield. Gross got there first, though, and he finds Welbeck. And it's Welbeck on the edge of the penalty area. Forced a little bit wide by Kilman, who did well there, actually. And now, eventually, the offside flag goes up against Danny Welbeck.
I was going to say, I thought he looked offside, but it's difficult to see from here. But
Nick and Andy, watching at the halfway house, will be delighted that Adama Traore is now on. At Mikey Burrows used the hashtag Wolves Live. Well, no.
Because he didn't have a very good time then at Brighton, did he, against him? Did he give away the penalty against him?
Yeah, he did.
He scored an own goal as well, I think.
He got taken off early in the second half.
Cool. Well, let's hope we can replicate that a little bit.
What it does mean is that Gibbs White is the central man behind Fabio Silva now. As Byrne fix it up to Mopé on halfway, and Mopé being tracked wide by Cody, trying to play it in behind for Dan Byrne, and across came Kilman. Good challenge.
Good tackle.
Committed himself, didn't he?
Yeah.
Matt says, all I'm saying is that if Tomo and Bully were on the pitch right now, it would be 5-0 Wolves.
Well, Bully with the 5 of them.
Yeah, I think you didn't got any.
What are you saying?
Not unless there was 5 penalties. Throwing down the line by Byrne to Mopé. Hoover got back to him, Brighton corner.
And they'll still be a threat at these, though. Still got some height in the side.
I don't think you'd have been able to mark Dan Byrne either.
Yeah, it'd been easy, mate.
Well, climbing on Bully's shoulders.
Just give him a little nudge here and there, mate.
Well, yeah, for a moment, I thought Vitinha was marking Dan Byrne there. I think it's Adama Traore who now has that responsibility.
And you can see the height difference, can't you?
Well, they've still got Byrne, they've still got Webster, they've still got Moda.
Still got White.
White's not gone in the penalty area just yet. Well, Welbeck's in there. And it's lifted in by Pascal Gross towards the far post. And it was Byrne who tried to get up, but Max Kilman did well this time. And it'll be a Wolves goal kick.
Well, it's more of a match, isn't it, Kilman? So at least he can just get up. I know Byrne's still bigger than him, but it's still a bit of a closer match.
It's like Carlo Kimi said at half time, whether you're better off leaving some of the smaller guys further forwards, and that creates more room for Kilman to get to the ball. If he does make the run, he can see it a bit more. It's a little bit less congested. Nouri's throw for Moutinho.
Just for me now, I think you've got to have a little bit of a gamble now. You've got to try and push forward a little bit quicker.
There's Kilman for Cody. Across the centre circle for Jean Moutinho. Gibbs White, lovely first time ball, finding Fabio Silva. Back to Jean Moutinho. Gibbs White again. He's facing his own goal though. Finds Moutinho wide out to Nouri. Nouri been shown in field and he'll happily go that way. Podence, Gibbs White to strike it, and he got across the ball. Deflection took it behind for a corner.
Yeah, well, we're starting to ask a little bit more of Brighton now, aren't we, defending? Again, it's been better. Yeah, just come off him. White, wasn't it, I think, deflection.
Jean Moutinho to take the corner, right-footed from the right-hand side.
I'll tell you what, it's a good job he took the deflection, because I think it was just bending into the top corner.
Pulled back for Hoover. Hoover's cross took a deflection. Podence back to Gibbs White. Sets himself and finds the feet of Kiana Hoover. Hoover's cross. Cody was making the run. It's headed away by Byrne. Nouri first to it. Back in field to Gibbs White again. He's completely running the show now. Jean Moutinho takes over. Wide out towards Adama Traore. Traore fizzes across in, and the goalkeeper palmed it. It comes all the way through to Aït-Nouri on the left, pulled back in field to Pedence. Pedence with a little short ball to Fabio Silva, the back heel, looking for Pedence round the outside, gets to the byline, being held up here by Webster and forced wide. Pulling it back in field to Vitinha. Vitinha trying to lift it towards the far post. Hoover's header down, but comfortably taken by Sanchez.
You wanted to kind of miss that as well. Traore's just coming behind him as well. But they're starting to put pressure on him, but got to try and turn it into opportunities at goal. Still haven't really caused a massive problem for Sanchez in the Brighton goal.
Rich says Morgan Gibbs-White playing for his Wolves' future and doing a good job so far. Mikey Burrows used the hashtag Wolves Live if you want to get in touch on social media. The chat function is up and running on our official Wolves YouTube channel. So Hoover's heavy touch gives Brighton a throw in the Wolves half. Brighton trying to slow things down a little bit.
What's that? 24 minutes left, is that? So there'll be no rush. So a man down as well. 1-0 up.
And that's sending off of Lewis Dunk. Change the complexion of what we're seeing. Here's Welbeck. William Jose is ready and waiting and will be introduced soon. As Gibbs-White was fouled deep inside his own half. Martinho gets on with it quickly. And here comes Vitinha driving over the halfway line. Look left, now looking right. Will eventually find Gibbs-White.
Well, I think we've got to get the ball out to Traore. We haven't really given the ball yet. I think that's one of the things against Dan Burn.
Here is Traore. Traore running and trying to stand his cross up, and it's already, I think, gone out of play. The official assistant referee on this near side put his flag up pretty early. So William Jose stepping out from the stand now. Interesting. Pedence off maybe and go two up top.
Yeah, I think that he'll go two up top. We're chasing the game, aren't we? You don't want to be taking one of your strikers off.
Take off one of Vitinha and Martinho and push Gibbs-White further back, maybe. Gibbs-White's having one of the best Wolves games of his career, it has to be said. So I don't see him coming off. He is the most likely to create something, you would feel.
Yeah, he's had a decent game today, hasn't he? He's battled up there as well.
Aït-Nouri over halfway. Infield for João Martinho. Martinho still dribbling. Now lifting it wide for Pedence. Controls on the chest. 10 yards from the right-hand corner flag. Back infield to João Martinho. Was pulling it backwards. Hoover taking over. Taking responsibility ahead of Cody to that loose ball. Finds Traore. And Traore with two for company. Trying to run to the right-hand side and lifts a good cross in, actually, at full pelt almost. Here's João Martinho. Picks it up and volleys. Oh, what a good effort. Just tipped wide by Sanchez. That would have been some goal. Teed it up off the thigh, João Martinho, and struck it on the volley. Trying to sneak it in at the near post.
Yeah, it is Pedence coming off. Yeah, it was a good effort from Martinho there. Just watching the replay again.
What a goal that would have been.
Yeah, it's a good strike from him.
So Pedence has gone off behind the goal. William Jose arrives and suddenly Wolves have a bit of height, but they take the corner short. Aït-Nouri stepped infield away from one challenge and trying to play it low. Welbeck turns it behind for another Wolves corner.
Yeah, it's good pressure from them, but we've got to try and convert this pressure into goals. Still chasing that one goal. 20 minutes left.
Oh, come on, Jonathan Moss. The referee watched the ball bounce back onto the pitch, going just directly towards him, and then walked and played such a soft pass to waste more time. And I think he's annoyed that Pedence is still waiting behind the goal and he wants him to move away. Pedence has been taking his shin pads off. That's why he's still there. Vitinha taking the corner short to Aït-Nouri again. Pulled back here for Vitinha. Vitinha, now it's charged down by White. No suggestion from anyone on the field of a handball. Mopé on the Brighton left. Back to Burn, who just Kicks it downfield with his weaker foot. Wolves will get the throw on halfway.
Yeah, I just think if you start putting pressure on them, you're going to have much of the same, I think. That one player down, but you just got to convert this pressure now. We've got to try and do something to get ourselves back into the game.
Gibbs White is everywhere at the minute. He was just in the Brighton dugout getting the ball, took the throw, got it straight back from Cody, played it to Moutinho, and now he's raced and provided a third man up top as it comes to Fabio Silva, back to João Moutinho, now to Gibbs White for Vitinha, out to the right side to Hoover, down the line for Traore. Traore being shown in field, trying to pull it back for João Moutinho, who plays a nice pass out to the feet of Hoover. Time to set himself, lifted his cross in, away by Byrne. It'll come out to João Moutinho again, and Moutinho trying to lift it in. Here's Willian Jose. Oh, a heavy touch from Willian Jose. And it allowed Robert Sanchez to dive on the loose ball.
Oh, he's just come on, William. That was his first touch. Put it down to being a little bit rusty, I think.
He was well onside.
Oh, he's well onside.
It's a brilliant pass by João Moutinho.
I think that's a great opportunity there.
But that's better for Wolves. More threatening from Wolves. As Aït-Nouri clatters into Moda, and a free kick for Brighton on the right-hand touchline, just over 10 yards inside the Wolves half. Both players have stayed down, actually. Just about getting to their feet now. Well, what can Wolves do now? It's gone to the changes. He's got a couple of options from the bench, should he want to.
Well, he's gone for the changes and also as well. So look, with their player down, just got to not make it easy for Brighton. Make it as difficult as you can.
Brighton still lead by a goal to nil with 18 minutes remaining.
And that's going to be the problem because they'll want to just keep taking the pace out of the game and start it, suit them.
McAllister for Gross. Down the line to McAllister again. And McAllister came off the better with a challenge of Vitinha, but in steps Traore. Ball comes to Byrne. Midway inside the Wolves half. Byrne turning in field. Ball bounced off McAllister and Gibbs White battling on the floor. But Basuma got the better of Traore. Traore recovers. And Kilman there ahead of Welbeck. It might not be right pretty, although it was there as Wolves played it round in triangles. And now get themselves out and over halfway. And Hoover trying to play it in behind for the runner. Fabio Silva. Fabio Silva right hand side of the penalty area. Low one deflected off Byrne and behind for a corner. Went into the side netting. Dan Byrne did really well to recover. And his teammates are celebrating with him. It was a lovely bit of play. A good ball by Hoover in behind. Fabio Silva was looking up. I don't think he was going for goal there.
No, he wasn't going for goal. Was he saying? I think he just took the pace out of it a little bit, just waiting for people to catch him up, basically.
João Moutinho's corner, right-footed from the right-hand side, played short to Hoover, who will cross it first time. A little miss kick by Basuma, ball bouncing around, and in the end, Welbeck's done really well and come away with the ball and won his side a free kick. Got options in that penalty area now, Wolves. You feel maybe it's better to put it in, and then Donker, I think, is being called back. And Donker for Moutinho, maybe. He's missed the last couple through injury. Long kick deep. Hoover with a challenge on Mopé. It's to shoulder. Well done, Jonathan Moss.
Well, again, I'll try and give everything to Wolves. So I think he's got away with it a bit fortunate there, I think.
Nah. Talking about Tomo. He's Vitinha. Honestly, it's like you've never played the game. Here's Vitinha. Finding Morgan Gibbs White. Gibbs White back in field to Vitinha. Edge of the penalty area, scooping it forward. Oh,
shoot. He's 18 yards out. Hit it.
Gibbs White's fuming at him.
Well,
he's tried to play it to Gibbs White, and you're right. Inside the D, centre, hit it.
Oh.
You know he can hit it.
Yeah, that's my point. So you know he can score from there. Just hit the ball. Trying to walk it in.
Sanchez clearing forward. Still Wolves 0, Brighton 1. 75 minutes played. Brighton down to 10 men. It's all Wolves. It's like a training game, really. Attack versus defence. And are the attack going to find a way through?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what we've got to try and do. We've got to try and get these opportunities and convert them into goals.
Gibbs White. Wide to Aït-Nouri on the left-hand side. Being shown back in field here, Ryan Aït-Nouri. Finding Vitinha. In towards Adama Traore. Traore in towards the edge of the box. Knee play! Oh, brilliant goal! Adama Traore gets Wolves level. That's superb football. Some of the best Wolves have produced all game. Lovely, neat interplay inside the penalty area. And Adama Traore found his way through. Wolves 1, Brighton 1.
Well, there you go. So, look, that was what we said. Some quick play. We've got to try and convert it. Good finish. Good finish from great feet.
His third goal of the season, Adama Traore. He got it from Vitinha and played a 1-2 with Fabio Silva
finish.
And stabbed the ball home.
Great finish.
And it's Vitinha, his last contribution. As Dendoncker comes on.
Yeah, not as effective as he was against West Brom, but still had a good game. He's had opportunities where I think that he could have pulled the trigger a little bit and have a shot.
Long ball for Moder to chase. Jakob Moder. He's run it behind for a goal kick. Brighton were going to make a change just before the goal. I think they will go through with it now. And it's Andy Sakiri who's going to come on. So they're going to put another forward on. It's Welbeck who's going off. So Brighton's third change. Wolves 1, Brighton 1. 13 minutes to go. This will be a very interesting finish to this game now.
Well, the controllers telling us since sending off Wolves, totally the game has swung in their favour. That's what they've got to keep doing now. Keep playing it. Don't just drop off because they've got that goal. There's still, 13 minutes left or so?
I tell you what, Traore, just watching some of the replays of the goal, he does really well.
Great finish. Thing is, though, because he's hit it early, he's caused a problem for the goalkeeper. He's not got himself set. But that's what it's going to take.
To Traore, back onto Keanu Hoover, right inside of the penalty area, and he's still running, and he pulled it back, and it was just a little bit behind Morgan Gibbs-White. Comes out, Traore hits it on the volley, and it took a deflection, hit the roof of the net, and will be a Wolves corner.
He's had a good game, Hoover, down this right-hand side. Just couldn't pick out the player, could he? They've got loads of bodies in there, Brighton, to be fair to them. But a positive run from him.
We have less than 12 minutes to play. João Moutinho with the corner, right-footed from the right-hand side. Again, plays it short to Hoover. Takes one touch, pulls it back to Gibbs-White. He has one touch and now delivers across to the far post. Just too high for Fabio Silva and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, if you're doing that, you've got to have quality putting in there. You've got to put it into the correct area. But it's been positive play from them. Just got to keep going. But just don't leave yourself vulnerable at the back to that counter-attack. They're leaving Maupay up front.
Shots of Raul Jimenez, Pedro Neto and Marçal. Oh, with Andreas Sondergaard watching on from the stands. Kilman stood in late there on Maupay. Free kick to Brighton on halfway and a yellow card for Max Kilman.
Yeah, he didn't need to make that challenge, did he? So we had enough bodies back.
Is there to be more late drama?
Well, I'm hoping the drama's going to be in the Brighton goal area.
Second half, Wolves have had 70% possession. Here come Brighton, though, through Moder. Being forced backwards by Aït-Nouri. Forced a long way backwards. Finds White. Gets away from Moutinho. Oh, good run here by Ben White, but Kilman steps in, and now Gibbs-White can try and get Wolves moving.
Let's put him in.
Basuma was with him. White finding Maupay. McAllister out to the left-hand side. Sakiri looking to run at Kiana Hoover. Just holding him up for the time being. Andy Sakiri. Hoover forcing him towards the corner flag and does well as Sakiri backheels it out of play. A Wolves goal kick.
You know, when we're talking about Gibbs White having a good game, he did really well initially, but Silva's made a great run over the top. He just needed to put him in. He's tried to have another touch and come inside.
Dendoncker, left-footed, raking crossfield ball, finding Traore. And Traore on for the run of Fabio Silva, who's pulled out to the right-hand side. He's got support from Gibbs White. Infield to Traore, back to João Moutinho. Wide again to Gibbs White. Hoover's made the run on the overlap. Here is Kiana Hoover. Lifts his cross in. It's headed away towards the edge of the box by Dan Burn. Wolves challenging and winning possession back. Mope wanted a free kick and João Moutinho, he tried to flick it in field and there were too many Brighton bodies in there. And Mope trying to run it forwards. Dendoncker, good challenge, and in comes Cody. And Wolves still have it.
Well done. Well fought back.
9 minutes to play at Molineux. Moutinho to the feet of Willian Jose. Now João Moutinho again, just out of the centre circle. Gibbs White, first time pass finding Dendoncker. Dendoncker looking out to the right-hand side to Traore. Traore, two Brighton players in front of him, cutting back infield. Here Adama Traore, left-footed ball across the edge of the penalty area to Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri to Willian Jose. Willian Jose cutting back infield, switching it for Hoover. Hoover setting himself, dinking it into the danger zone. It'll come back to Traore. Traore striking, blocked by Dan Burn. Ball rebounds out as far as Cody. Cody now will find Kilman and Wolves can build again.
Yeah, so they're looking the side that's going to score the next goal, and the Wolves just got to keep going, keep plugging away. Can we create that opportunity?
Heavy touch by Fabio Silva when everyone in a blue shirt was deep inside their own half. And now they'll be able to try and spring forwards. Sakiri with a heavy touch and Cody gets across and Cody blocked him off and it will be a Brighton free kick.
No, it's going to be a booking, I think, for Connor Cody. But enough players around there, though. But that's what we can't afford to do. Silva's got to take more care for me. That's come from his control.
Yeah, you can't lose it in the position that he was with so many players committed forwards. And this just gives Brighton a chance just to eat up a bit more time as well.
Well, Brighton will be happy with the result. Brighton will be happy with the 1-1 result.
Won't officially make them safe just yet, but they are pretty much.
Yeah, it's just an extra point on it, isn't it?
There's Basuma. White out to the right-hand side. With Gross. Being forced backwards and infield to Webster. Base of the centre circle. Gibbs White tracking with him. Wide out against that right-hand side, and Willian Jose putting pressure on, and the ball played back towards Traore, and the goalkeeper came out, and Traore didn't know where it was, and he's got to the loose ball now. He needs support to arrive. It's back to Gibbs White, who hits it over the top. Oh, my word, what a chance. The ball back, and Traore made the most of it. Sanchez's clearance hit Adama Traore, and he thought it had gone to his right, and the ball went left, and he had to spin round. Didn't quite know where it was until it was too late. And then the support from Gibbs White, who was leaning back. A massive opportunity to go in front.
Well, I thought Traore was going to shoot himself once he got onto his right foot. He's just got to keep it down, hasn't he? Gibbs White, just got to keep it down.
Robert Sanchez, the Brighton goalkeeper, getting a yellow card. I think from the assistance of Robert Plant as well there.
Yeah, I think Robert Plant's just giving one as well. Yellow card, so he wasn't happy with time wasting.
6 minutes to go, plus time to be added on. Morgan Gibbs White has never scored a league goal for Wolves. That was his big opportunity.
It was. I thought Traore would be selfish and just take it himself once he realised where the ball was.
I say it was difficult, wasn't it? 'Cause
yeah.
It was kind of, it's happened so quickly. It's the luck of the bounce sometimes.
Yeah.
If it's bounced the other side of him, then nobody's catching him and he's rolling it in.
But I think when he's got himself set, I thought he might have fancied the angle where he was at. Got it onto his right foot, just curled it in. I think it was Webster who's got running back to the line.
Aït-Nouri's taking a tumble. Kilman, though, blocking off Ball into the Wolves penalty area and just clears it out of play for a Brighton throw. 5 minutes remain. Wolves 1, Brighton 1.
Yeah, well, it's not a time for hesitation in our penalty area now when we're defending. Just got to keep pushing on, just try and get that winning goal.
It'll be Gross with a throw. Pascal Gross thrown in towards Mopé. Trying to hold it up on the edge of the box. Dendoncker going in. Mopé still has it. And support from Pascal Gross. It's twisting and turning with Dendoncker challenging. Moda infield. McAllister. Now they'll interplay. Gross was in the penalty area and the offside flag has gone up against him as Aït-Nouri cleared the ball anyway.
Well, that's where you don't want Brighton. You don't want Brighton. You don't want Brighton playing balls around that penalty area and having possession.
There's Cody for Dendoncker. Reminder that in our charity bets for the Wolves Foundation, I think there's about 3 bets for 2-1 as the Wolves scoreline. And my bet is on more than 2.5 goals. So if Wolves can find a winner here, the Feed Our Pack campaign is going to get an awful lot of money.
Yeah, let's hope so.
There's Matinho, Willian Jose.
I think that was meant for Aït-Nouri, I think, from Matinho. Just tried to play it inside the fullback.
Gibbs White out to the feet of Traore on the right-hand side. Traore, again, 2 players with him for company, but he's managed to whip his cross in. Basuma's header has sent it towards the far post, and Madea's header will send it out of play for a Wolves throw down by the left-hand corner flag. Just over 3 minutes to play. Quick throw. Dendoncker finding Kilman. Infield to Connor Cody on the edge of the centre circle in the Brighton half. A little short 10-yard pass to Matinho. Wide for Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri cutting back infield here. Can he? Oh, he's still going, Aït-Nouri. It's the edge of the box, pulling it back to Dendoncker. Dendoncker thought about maybe a shot, tried to thread it through to Hoover. Hoover's managed to get the ball back. Here's Dendoncker again. Fabio Silva popping up on the left. Now Aït-Nouri once more. Aït-Nouri looking to lift across, a little deflection. Header away by Webster. Madea will get there first head of Fabio Silva and just clear it out of play for a Wolves throw. 2.5 to play.
Yeah, I know Silva wants to help out and everything, but he's out on that left-hand side. He needs to get himself in the penalty area for me. Be the striker in there.
Attack versus defence again.
It is.
Wolves 1, Brighton 1. Brighton down to 10 men for most of this second half. Connor Cody for Hoover. Wide to Traore. Hoover had made the run down the line. Traore running it there himself and knocking it past Dan Burn and into the penalty area. And he tried to pull it back, but Basuma was well placed.
How many of them we had? And we haven't picked out one of our players yet. So we've had the opportunities there, haven't we? Where we've gone past him. Well, it just shows you the pace of him, doesn't it? He's knocked it round Dan Burn and run round the other side of it.
Less than 2 minutes to play of the 90. Dendoncker to Kilman. Kilman over the halfway line and away from Neal Maupay. And now finding João Matinho. Wolves still pressing to try and find that winner. Matinho for Gibbs White. Wide for Traore once more. Traore trying to cut infield this time into the penalty area. Oh, and there's a tumble there by Hoover. I think had just lost his footing more than anything.
I don't think it was a foul. Done with a foul, but just keep getting Traore down this right-hand side. I know he's...
It's Matinho for Hoover. Wide for Traore. Minute 10 remaining of the 90. João Matinho once more. Infield to Morgan Gibbs-White. Drops a shoulder. Now trying to find Willian Jose for Kilman. Infield to Dendoncker in the middle of the half. Out to Hoover on the right-hand side. Hoover being told just to play it to Traore. Traore up against Sakiri. More support arriving for Brighton, but Traore has got his cross in and it's going to come all the way through to Aït-Nouri. His shot is blocked, charged down. The ball comes out to Kilman, who tried to lift it forwards. Maupay got a touch to it. Kilman back to Cody, and we have 40 seconds of the 90 still to play.
Yeah, you got to keep going, Believe that you can get that winning goal.
Hoover for Traore. Infield to João Matinho. João Matinho now finding Gibbs White. Back to Dendoncker, 30 yards from goal. Out to the left-hand side to Aït-Nouri. Aït-Nouri trying to dribble against Moda. Gets past him. Low cross deflects towards Gibbs White. Gets over the second chance. Yes. Morgan Gibbs White finds the top corner. It's a special moment for him. And it could be a match-winning one at Molineux. Wolves 2, Brighton 1. He missed a big opportunity a few moments ago. He would not miss this one. Morgan Gibbs-White with his first league goal may well have just won the game. Wolves 2, Brighton 1. What entertainment at the end of the season.
And to be fair to him, I think he's deserved it, hasn't he? I think for the way that he's played today. But he had an effort first, blocked. It was a great finish, straight in the top corner as well. Sanchez got no chance.
Only the second Wolves goal of his career. On the occasion of his 80th appearance, is this a coming-of-age moment for Morgan Gibbs-White?
Yeah, it's good finish. Good finish. Just watching the replay again. Keeper's had no chance of the 2 goals that he's conceded, as is Sanchez. First one from Traore. Yeah, it's well beyond him, isn't it? Good finish.
4 minutes is being added on, by the way. 4 minutes left to play. What a game this has turned out to be.
It has. It's been a good game.
Wolves still taking their time getting back into their own half.
Well, Brighton were taking the time earlier on, didn't they? Can't have both.
What a moment for Morgan Gibbs-White. Brighton are going to throw everything forwards now.
Well, they've got to. Got 4 minutes left, haven't they? Got to try and throw everything there now.
Down the right-hand side, ball lifted across the penalty area. Hoover controls it, and he'll try and release Traore, and Hoover was caught really late, and they'll pull it back for Basuma to get a yellow card. Well, strictly speaking, we've played nearly 2 minutes of the time being added on, but a good minute or so of that was waiting for Wolves to get back into their own half to restart from the goal.
But you're happy about your charity bet now?
Well, Wolves, are good at the minute, if it stays like this, we are winning a lot of money for Wolves Foundation.
And that's great news as well. So winning the game and the charity bet.
We've definitely won some money anyway, because my more than 2.5 goals bet has paid off. And that was 2-1 with 100 quid put on it. So we've definitely won a fair bit of money. But I think we've got 3 bets at 2-1 on the go now. So in a way, can we just keep the ball for the next 2 minutes? Gibbs-White has been challenged. Brighton still threatening. Mope, good footing by Dendoncker, and Kilman will put his foot through it to clear.
Sits him on the back anyway. I think somebody was late on Kilman. Dan Burns tried to let the ball go and hit him on the back and got out of play.
We have played 3 minutes officially of the time being added on. I think there's probably another minute on top of the 1 left to play. Wolves 2, Brighton 1. We have seen so much drama, not just this season, but over the last couple of seasons. This Wolves team don't half leave it late sometimes. We've said it before and we'll say it again. It's not easy being a Wolves fan.
Yeah, he does nothing for the nerves, does he?
Even when they're winning, they still do this too. Yeah? Connor Cody was fouled and Wolves get a free kick midway inside their own half. There have been many times in history when a Wolves season ticket should come with private healthcare added on.
Some beta blockers probably as well, just to calm me down.
Wow. What an account. Let's face it, the sending off massively changed things.
Oh, it does. It does. Because say, like in that first half, Brighton looked so comfortable, didn't they?
Yeah.
They're in control of the game, and then it has changed it totally.
But you play the circumstances,
Exactly.
You play the hand you're given.
Well, if you hadn't brought them down, just silver score. Possibility.
Traore. Burns sliding in. Came off Keanu Hoover. It'll be a Brighton throw. We're in added time at the moment. Header on by Moda. Cody just launching it high into the Brighton half. Fabio Silva trying to get the wrong side of Dan Burn. And the Wolves man is going to be penalised.
I don't think there's much in that. Both pushing and pulling each other.
Brighton maybe with time for one last opportunity.
Stop the ball coming in. to stop the service.
Gross has managed to lift his cross in high over the top of everybody, and he'll go behind for a goal kick. Kiana Hoover gets congratulated by Connor Cody. He just nudged Yves Bassoum around of it at the last moment, and that surely will be that now.
You'd think so. You'd think that that's the end of it now.
Well, Wolves are not going to climb any higher than 12th from this result, but they will be only 4 points off Arsenal in the top 10 with 3 games to go. A couple of tough games to go, has to be said.
Well, they've got 3 tough games, haven't they?
Right, it's Spurs and then Everton and then Man United here.
Yeah.
And imagine, even with a limited crowd in, if Wolves had produced something similar against Man United. The final whistle. Wolves behind at half-time. It's another second-half turnaround for Nuno's side. The sending off of Lewis Dunk 8 minutes into that second half made a massive difference when he pulled back Fabio Silva when he was racing through. Wolves were made to work hard for it, though. Eventually substitute Adama Traore with 14 minutes to play. Lovely interplay between he and Fabio Silva in the penalty area, and he side-footed the ball in for the equaliser. And then Morgan Gibbs-White, having missed one glorious chance, got his second opportunity and put it into the top corner for his first Wolves League goal, the second goal of his Wolves career. It could mean so much for him. It's given Wolves all 3 points. And hopefully the next time Wolves play in this famous stadium, they will do so in front of supporters. It finished Wolves 2, Brighton 1.
Yeah, so big turnaround, isn't it, for Wolves? So look, feel pleased for Gibbs-White, first goal, first league goal, I should say, and the winning goal, as it happens. But look, so you shouldn't have to play like that when they get a player sent off. We've got to play like that when they've got 11 players on there. But again, they created enough opportunities to win the game. They made dividends to the way that Wolves played, with the way that Brighton started to drop off, and they made the use of that extra man for me. So look, they played it well, knocked it around. The introduction of Traore, so it made a big difference as well, getting that first goal. And he caused big problems for Brighton.
I don't know what Brighton is so angry about here. Neil Maupay has been pulled away from the referee a number of times. Some of the Brighton coaching staff getting involved in it. Maupay is absolutely fuming here.
I don't understand why. Their first team coach, I think it is, pulling him away.
Well, Wolves got the victory. And that's all that matters as far as we're concerned. And they will be on 45 points now. It's turned out to be a very good occasion for them to get that win.
I think he's moaning about the one where the free kick wasn't given down in the bottom corner. You know, when he's gone over, they're saying it wasn't a shoulder barge, but you said it was a good shoulder barge from Hoover, was it? I think that's what he's arguing about.
Well, we'll take a very short break, folks, and then we'll get more from Tomo, and we'll hear from Carl Ikemi and Lee Naylor as well on Wolves TV's Matchday Live Extra. Once again, this Wolves team have left it late, but what a special day it's been for Morgan Gibbs-White. Don't go anywhere.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
We can't welcome you to the Wolves Megastore at the moment, but our online store is available 24/7. Visit shop.wolves.co.uk for huge savings on replica kits, training wear and exclusive Wolves clothing ranges.
The Old Gold Club has a new series, My Golden Game. Speaking to former and current players, coaches, managers and fans of the matches that meant the most to them.
It's a club who I have in my heart, and I always keep following it.
I'd been back to Molineux on a few occasions, and I never got a good reception, and that hurt me a little bit. Not that I thought I deserved better, but maybe because of those two games against West Brom, where I scored 4 goals in 2 appearances.
Check out the series so far, featuring the likes of Jodian Lescott, Kevin Doyle, Neil Emblem and Dennis Irwin.
I was absolutely delighted when they came in for me, and even more so when after having a tough first 4 or 5 months that we were on a bit of a roll and ended up playing in this fantastic game.
All Gold Club, My Golden Game, available now.
Matchday Live on Wolves TV. Listen for free online at wolves.co.uk or on the move anywhere in the world via the Wolves app.
Full time at Molineux then. Wolves 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. The story of the game. Big sending off, changing things. Lewis Dunk had given Brighton the lead in the first half. He was then sent off early in the second. Adama Traore off the bench to equalise, and Morgan Gibbs-White, with pretty much the last kick of the 90 minutes, gave Wolves a victory. They had 60% possession overall, but in the second half it was 70-30. 16 efforts on goal to Brighton's 5, 6 of which were on target, 3 off target and 7 blocked. They had 10 corners to Brighton's 5 in the game. They were also much better and more accurate with their passing, 89% to 82% for Brighton. And probably one stat that will stand out, we'll talk about, is Wolves were much more successful with dribbling. They had 20 attempted dribbles in the whole game, 12 of which were successful. Lee Naylor, I'll come to you first. We were all pretty critical of the first half performance. What did you make of it over the 90 overall?
Yeah, as I said in the first half, we made a great start for the first 10 minutes, and then it sort of fizzled out. Second half, again, started amazing, but we carried that on. Kilman and Morgan, they had shots saved by the keeper. They were getting in pockets. I thought Morgan had an outstanding second half. I thought he was getting in positions where it was hurting Brighton. I thought he was getting in a little pockets, receiving it, moving it quickly. It's what we were saying half time. Can you use 1, 2, 3 touches, moving it on quick? And as I said, first half, getting down the right hand side, I thought could have been a problem. What happened second half? I should be a manager. This game's easy.
Lee, hang on there a minute. And Carl, I know you're going to want to speak to this boy in just a second, because Morgan Gibbs-White is standing by to join us. I'm just looking down at pitch side now as he's been handed the phone to get in touch with us. Morgan, look at that smile. Look at that $1 million smile. How are you feeling, pal?
I'm good, man. It's about bloody time it's come. I waited bloody 2 years for this chance, and now it's come. I'm just delighted.
The team deserved it, really, didn't they, on the balance of it? It was difficult first half, but you kept plugging away. And after the sending off, you had to be a bit patient, didn't you?
Yeah, massively. I felt like in the first half, it was sort of a 50-50 game. Fair play to Brighton. They were really, really good. They came out battling. But I feel like you said, after the red card, it gave us a massive confidence boost to go on and just play football. And I think it's shown in the last 30 minutes of what we can do when we play with the ball.
Morgan, buzzing for you, man.
Thank
buzzing
you.
For you, brother. Buzzing for you. Especially the last few games, you've really made an impact coming off the bench. What's been the mindset going forward? You've had a big influence on today, obviously with the goal, but apart from that, just your whole energy in the game. What's been your mind? Where's your mind been, and what's been your thought process as you come back off loan?
It's been, I can't lie, it's been hard. It's been physical. The manager's been putting me through it. But like I said, I've just got to stay patient, and whenever I get my chance on the pitch, I've just got to show everyone what I can do and work hard. And I think that's what I've been doing, and I'm willing to continue to help the team and push on.
Do you think obviously you kind of had the tag of the young boy coming through now? Do you think it's time for you now? Do you feel like, because it looks like that from the outside, do you think it's time for you? You're maturing?
Yeah, massively. And I think it shows in my performance that I'm maturing. I'm making the right decisions. yeah, and I feel like it's my time to step up now, and progress and push on and make a statement in this team.
Yeah, Morgan, to say, I know that you like playing that number 10 role. Today you had more of a roaming role where you could switch your positions.
Yeah.
Do you prefer then what you did today, or do you still prefer that number 10 position?
I feel like in the first half, I found it a bit difficult to sort of get into the game, get going, and then second half, the manager spoke to me in the changing rooms and was like, even though I said stay out wide, that doesn't mean you can't come inside. So that gave me the license to sort of free roam. And when I get that sort of free roam position, that's when I feel like I come alive and I'm able to do my own thing.
Just to continue on from that, Morgan, obviously, I know you're probably not a natural wide player as well. And when you do come in, you do seem to influence the game. Is it, we sort of talk about a number 10, where do you see yourself in this team as a midfielder, a box-to-box player, or do you want to be higher up the pitch most of the time?
I don't either. It's a tough one. Wherever the manager puts me, I'm going to put.
Yeah, I know that.
But
really good.
Personally, I prefer playing in that number 10 role because, like I said, it gives me that license to just be free, go and create things and help the team back. But also, I like to track back and sort of defend with it and help the team as well.
Yeah, I think that's what my question was coming off, because you can seem to do both, and you're dynamic. You've got the engine to do it, but also you've got that power and pace of when you run as well. So really happy you performed today, brother. I'm buzzing you got the goal.
Yeah,
Thank you, mate. Need to catch up.
Yeah, you pleased that you went out on Swansea alone? So did he give you that little bit more experience? I know you had an injury.
Yeah. I only played four games when I was out there. Obviously, due to my injury, I had a bit of time out. But I thought like I got most of the experience off the physicality side. And then when the manager called me back, that was sort of like a confidence boost that he wants me to come back in with the boys and try and help the boys out. So I feel like that is where the sort of relationship between me and him has definitely gotten better. And, it's just got to progress on from here.
Yes, Morgs, it's Lee Naylor. You all right, man?
Yes, Lee. How you doing, mate? You okay?
I'm all good. Hey, did it give you confidence when, obviously, the gaffer took you inside and brought Traore on over the right-hand side and he brought Neves off? Because, obviously, that's a big move. Because you're the one normally that's been brought off, or when you've started, it's one of them where I thought, you know what, buzzing, kept me on. I'm making moves. I'm getting in positions where it's hurting them. I'm picking up these little pockets. And I thought it was a show of confidence from the gaffer to leave you on.
Yeah, massively. Because I'm usually the first or second sub, and when I was seeing the time going down, I was thinking, oh, he's showing this much confidence in me to stay on. And I thought, all right, okay, cool. I've got to try and create something now. I've got to try and do something. And, luckily enough,
he was right to do so, mate. He was right to do so, because look what happened. It was brilliant, mate. Good performance.
Thank you. I appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
Tell you what, you quite like scoring in front of the South Bank, whether there's fans there or not, don't you?
It meant a lot, mate. It did. It just, unfortunate the fans could be out.
Yeah, well, just a quick word for them, Morgan, because, you are the local boy, and I guess a bit more gets put on you. We were talking about that beforehand. So, does this feel like a new stage of your Wolves career now, having been away on loan and now stepping up?
I wouldn't say it feels like a new stage, because, I feel like I've always had the confidence to come and perform. But I feel like you said, that Swansea sort of physicality experience definitely helped me out. And like I said, the manager bringing me back gave me confidence. And I just can't wait for the fans to come back in and be cheering us on and put on a performance like today for them.
Because I just wonder whether your mindset's different, having had that opportunity a couple of minutes before it as well. The experience you've now been through to get that next chance in the game and absolutely bury it says a lot.
Yeah, I was devastated, absolutely devastated when I missed that open goal. But you've got to have a strong mentality and a strong mindset to keep the composure and keep going. And I felt like I kept my composure and took the goal well.
Well, listen, mate, you've got 3 big games now for the rest of the season. Got to go and add to that goal tally.
Yeah, 3 big games. 3 big games, and hopefully we can add more, and hopefully we can get more points on the table.
Well done, mate. Thank you for joining us. Massive congratulations.
Yeah.
Go and enjoy it.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done, Morgs, mate. Buzzer for you.
Give me a shout, teams.
Well, yeah, definitely, mate. Take it easy, brother.
Cool.
I don't know, mate. Morgan Gibbs-White, not just the goal and the winning moment, but I genuinely thought even when Wolves were behind, he showed a level of maturity, Carl, where, he wanted to get on the ball. He wanted to try and make something happen. And in the end, he did.
Definitely, yeah. And I think sort of he spoke a lot about the physicality of going out on loan. He didn't actually go out and play that many games, but the physicality, and I suppose coming back into Wolves, you can kind of see that he's maturing. I think we talk about he mentioned the physicality of it, but maybe it's just maturing as a person as well. He's very young, and there's a lot of change. He's between your teenage years and your early 20s, and I think maybe he's just starting to get that. And he did try to make things happen all game, even when we weren't playing well. He was trying to make things happen, and I think it's his energy that he brings to the Wolves side, which I'm really impressed with. I think that's why I asked him the question whether he's a number 10 or, because I can see him as a number 8 and a box-to-box player, because I think he can do both as well. I think he can influence the game higher up the pitch, but I also think he can give us a bit more dynamic running, which we sometimes miss. And I think he's proved that today, and I hope he plays for the rest of the season now, because we want Morgan here. We want Morgan to do well here, and we just haven't seen enough of it at times. And he's starting to produce that form that me and other people have seen around the club from a young age.
Well, it's interesting. As we were hearing from him, Nails, I was thinking back to the young boy who made his debut at Stoke in the FA Cup, which was not that long ago, really. It was only, 5 years or so. But the difference in him, in his character, I remember having to kind of shepherd him away and get him through the mix zone, so he didn't have to do interviews after that game. And look at him now; he's completely different now.
No, it's always odd when you've had success at such a young age, and then you've literally got to have realization that you've done well with the under-17s of England, but you got to come back to your parent club now, and where you've got to do well. You've got to try and get in that first team. You've got to break in there. You've got to stay there. And he had that in and out sort of nearly all of his Wolves career. And for me today, he was outstanding. He was my man of the match. I'll be honest with you. I've wrote a few things down, and Morgan had a part of all of them. I thought he was trying to make things happen. I thought he was getting into pockets. I thought he was, moving the ball quickly, which we said needed to happen. And he's not afraid to take the ball when he's under pressure. And that's a massive thing to have, especially when you're at the higher level. I thought, he was outstanding. And to go and miss that chance and then get another one late on and score is massive for his confidence. Because if he doesn't go on and do that, then the question's over his head again. The manager will be asking, when he's got a chance, is he taking it? And, he missed that first one, but he gave him confidence by keeping him on the pitch. And look what happened in the end.
Do you know, it's also his running as well. And it's his runs he makes off the ball. I think that's a really important. And we were talking about it a lot in the first half, that no one's getting behind. And sometimes it's selfless running.
Yeah.
And I could see he was knackered at times. But he was just running, trying to make space for other people. He knew that he possibly weren't going to get it, but he kept on doing it. And like Now said, like missing that chance and then to score on the 90th minute, it shows what we've all been saying, is a level of maturity and a confidence as well.
But he's got to reproduce that now, hasn't he? He's got to make sure that he continues that till the end of the season and comes back after pre-season and then shows it again. And that's the thing for him. We know he's got the ability, but it's being able to produce it and show it on a regular basis. And that's what you've got to do, especially if he's playing in the top flight football, the Premier League.
But here's one for you, boys. Like, will his teammates now maybe trust him a little bit more? Because we've seen at times, where especially when things aren't quite going for you, the natural instinct is to go, let's give it to Matinho, let's give it to Neves, let's let them be the men to take control of it. Are we witnessing now where maybe some of them will look at Morgan and go, yeah, I completely trust him to be the man who wants the ball to take charge of this situation, Keems?
I think so. I think it would naturally come. I think there's been a lot of pressure on Morgan just from a young age, and it's difficult. Niles will probably tell you as well, because probably Niles would have been a part of that sort of young. I came through a little bit later. When you're a young player and you've got a lot of you've got a lot of talent, but you're also local and you've got a lot of pressure on your shoulders. Everyone expects you to do more than anyone else for some reason. And Morgan's very young and he's starting to mature into this team. And because he's done so well within the England setup and he's been so highly talked about, we expect to see it straight away. But it's just, it's time sometimes. And sometimes players don't get time, but he has got time. And he will start to prove what he can do now. And he will start to prove it with his teammates now as well. To say that, well, like Niall said, well, they took Nevers off and left him on. Well, it shows that they have confidence in him now, and it will just start to completely grow. He'll grow with himself now from that goal as well, and his performance, and he will believe what he's doing is right, because it's been difficult for him this season at Wolves, and I think it's him believing that what he's doing is right, and I suppose them other players seeing that he can make an influence on the game.
Tomo, let's give some credit to some others out there as well. Fabio Silva, actually, because not only does he make the movement that gets Dunk sent off, he plays a lovely little 1-2. He's that pivot point for Traore to get the equaliser.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I've said this last week, so look, I think that he's improving as we go along throughout the season. I think that he's starting to understand the game a little bit more, and you've said about him learning off the older strikers, or more senior strikers, I should say. And he's brought that into his game. I think he definitely looks a lot stronger. I think that he's starting to come to terms with the physicality of playing in this league, being able to hold the ball up, being able to get there in front of the player and just to bring other people into play. And we've seen that from him. I thought Hoover played really well today as well. I thought down that right-hand side, I thought he played really well. And then when Traore come on, the link up between the two of them, caused Brighton no end of trouble. For that, we saw Nuri glimpses to say for the goal for Gibbs White. So look, you saw him breaking there and pulling the ball back. So there's been some good performances, but again, we've just got to try and show it a little bit more, a little bit better throughout the game. So that first half we struggled to break Brighton down, but there's definitely been some good performances today.
I think also as well, we were talking about runs in behind, weren't we? And Niall's mentioned it and Tom mentioned it. We're not saying get codes hit in the channel. It's run in behind when we got the ball in like a final third area, because we've seen it in the second half and it started to stretch the game for us more. It started to create more space, and as soon as it was the likes of Hoover, Fabio, Morgan making selfish runs sometimes. They weren't even getting the ball, but it just starts to create space for us to be able to play. And like I said, Fabio is really looking good. I'm really excited about seeing how he's going to progress next season. Hoover as well. He's made a massive statement today, in my opinion, Hoover at right back, because he was brilliant today, and he was involved in a lot of what we were doing going forward. I know Troy made a massive impact on the game, and not to take that away from him, but Hoover was making them runs all day, and it's another threat for us, as we haven't got Raul back and we haven't got necessarily a whole heap of goal threats. He's another threat going forward.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about the fullbacks or wing backs, depending on what formation they're going to do, because we're in a situation where Johnny is probably going to be out for a while. Marçal has had a very injury-affected season. They have Vinagre out on loan, so decision will need to be made there. Ryan Nori is on loan with a view to a permanent, but decision has to be made there. And then on the opposite side, they have Semedo, who came in for a lot of money and has had an improving season. And then Hoover, as we've seen today, providing that other option. So we've got two fullbacks. So let's put it to them. Lee Naylor, I'll come to you first. Where are we in terms of our fullback/wing-back options? How strong are we?
I think Hoover is an outstanding talent. I think he could possibly go on and be very, very good for Wolves. I seen him when he first came over in the youth team, and he just blew me away. I just thought this kid's going to be something special. And I think he can be. I think he's got the attributes to be very, very, very good. And I thought he was excellent today. Left side, not sure about Nori. I ain't going to lie to you. I think he's more suited to going forward. I don't think he's great defensively. So yeah, it leaves a question mark. I think if you've got Johnny there, then we don't need this conversation. But he's injured, and I think a left back's needed.
Tomo?
Yeah, I just think that it's going to all depend on the formation that we play. I think that it's Semedo, Ait-Nouri, wing-back positions. Okay, that's great. But it looks like Nuno wants to go to a back four. And again, Ait-Nouri, even though he's improved, I just think that he's not going to be a back four full-back for me. Semedo, very similar. Okay, he's improved again. But I just think that Hoover's probably a one-on-one defender, probably better than him at the moment. So, I think that he's a bit more athletic, a little bit more stronger, even though Semedo's very good going forward. But I just think that probably Hoover's probably if you're going to go with the forward, probably be the better one for me at the moment, even though Semedo's played really well. I know we spent a lot of money on him, but if you're going to get it right or you're going to play with a back four, you're going to have to get it right in the full-back positions for me. So, and Hoover would probably have it for me. Johnny, what is he going to be about Christmas? He's going to come back. Is Ait-Nouri going to be the man for the back four? Even though, look, I've been very pleased with the way Ait-Nouri's come into the game and the way he's played. But there's going to be a question mark over his positioning in a back four for me.
Feels like, Keems, that this role, maybe more than any other, is the most kind of debatable at the moment, because they're probably the most affected by whether we play 4 or 5 at the back, and that impacts as to what type of player and who you would play in that role.
Yeah, I think it shows that we haven't really got obviously completely agree with Niles. If Johnny's there, the conversation's done at left back. But it shows that there's not someone really stamped their mark on that shirt in the fullback positions. And I think Hoover today was probably, I don't know about what you guys think, I think it was probably the best performance I've seen at right back for us all season, in all honesty, between both him and Semedo. And I think he's really made a mark today to say, oh, look at me. I know you've spent big money on Semedo, but this is what I can do. And I think Semedo's been indifferent all season. He shows real signs of quality at times, and sometimes he doesn't necessarily make an impact on games, but I thought Hoover has made a big impact on today. And it wasn't the fact that he just had a good game, it was the intelligence of his runs as well that he made. And I was really impressed with Hoover today. And if I'm him, I'm thinking, well, I want to be playing them last 3 games for the rest of the season to show you what I can do next season. And at left back as well, Ait-Nouri, I thought it's been okay as well. I think he's improved as the season's gone on. I think Vinagre might come back just to help out, because I think it could be a bit of a flip between them two until if Ait-Nouri do I sign Ait-Nouri to the end of the season. But it's, as you said, it could be more them two positions. Well, I believe the left back position mainly will be driven by what formation we might play next season.
I mean, I guess they will have to work out how much they think they're going to get out of Marçal. And I mean, in theory, they even have Ryan Giles, who's been out on loan at Rotherham, who would be in that kind of shake-up and discussion at the very least anyway. And what
I thought Marcel's been okay as well, to be fair, Mikey. It's just that he's been injured.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to judge one that you've not seen a great amount of. But it's interesting. I think we're all impressed by Hoover today, so I'll be looking forward to seeing more of him for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. I thought, like, as I said, I seen him at a very young age in the youth team, and I thought the boy is special. So I think he'll go on. I think he'll only get better and better from this point. And I think Wolves have got a top talent on their hands. Whereas you go left back, Ait-Nouri, it's one of them where you put him in a 4, he's an absolute no for me. If you put him in a wing back, okay, decent. But then you got Ryan Giles, who I think could do just as good a job. And that's God's honest truth. I've seen a lot of Ryan. And going forward and putting dangerous balls in a box for someone to go and score, there's not many put a better ball in than him. So, it's...
Ryan Giles as well, isn't it? Out and out pace that Giles has.
Yeah, and his endeavour to do well to do well at Wolves. I know he's got that personally. I've spoke to him in the past. I spoke to him when he was converting from a winger to a left wing back, and he wanted some advice. But
did that you? Did he?
I started my Wolves life off at wing back. Okay, Keems. No, but it's one of them where Gilo for me he's a winger. He's not a wing back and he's not a full back. For me he's an out and out winger. So I would count him out of that left wing back spot.
Okay, really interesting discussion. Thank you, boys. Max Kilman today. What did he take his opportunity, Carl?
Yeah, I thought he done pretty well. I think he done what was asked of him at all times. He defended when he needed to. I think the sort of the first half wasn't down to necessarily sort of any dodgy defending. I just don't think we've defended well all season in the four. I think that's something that will need to be worked on. And I don't necessarily think it's. I think it is some individual issues, but I think it's as a team we don't seem to defend. We seem shaky when we do defend the four, but I think that's more to do with who's going to be tracking back where, and I don't think we've quite got to grips with that. But I think Max done well today, and I really like Max. I think he's a notable player that we do have as well. It's just that what are we going to do next season, and who's going to be the combination if we do play the two at the back, the four at the back. Sorry, because I think it's looking like that's what Nuno wants to do. He's tried to do it at the start of the season, reverted back to type to try and get some results. But I think if we've next season coming into mind with a little bit more time, obviously remember the European campaign as well. Didn't give him much time to sort of try the four as well. I think it'd be interesting to see what combination he does go for.
Tomo?
Yeah, I thought Kilman did okay. So look, I think that he's steady. So he's comfortable on the ball. But I just think that if we're playing a flat back four, that one of the two centre halves, one of them's got to have a lot of pace for me. I think that can get exposed. We got exposed a couple of times in that first half with a ball over. I think Welbeck went through on that. I just think that if you're going to play four at the back, they've got to have some pace at the back as well in that central position for me. So, but again, Kilman, so done nothing wrong today. Good on the ball, comfortable on the ball when it comes to him. Never got caught out today. But I just think that we found it hard in that first half, especially when Brighton were running at us. And we know what this Premier League's about. We know the players and the quality that's in here. And the boys will probably agree or disagree, depending on what they think. But I just think that in that central position, you've got to have one of the centre halves who's got to have pace about him.
I agree. For me, I judge players, especially defenders, off when they're under pressure. I think you can tell whether they've got it or not. I thought when we were under pressure, I thought we were at 6s and 7s. I thought they didn't know what was going on. They didn't know who was going to close down. They was waiting for, someone to make that first move, and that was my concern. I'll be honest. When I'm looking at it, if I've got my coach's head on, I'm thinking, well, okay, someone go and make a decision. Someone go out to the ball. Who's going out to the ball? Who's dropping off? Who's got who? And I thought we were a bit disjointed when we come over pressure from Brighton after the first 10 minutes of the first half.
Do we stick with this now for the last three games? Because the last three are pretty tough on paper. Spurs, Everton, Man United. He made 5 changes from Monday, but the formation stuck the same. Tomo, what would you do? Would you be tempted to put some of the more senior boys back in? Because in a funny old way, it shows the need to build this squad up, because you suddenly looked at the bench today and it was full of players who could come on and do some.
Well, we spoke about it and we're saying, look, he's only got a small squad. And when you look at the bench, it's quite young on the bench. And today it was the vice versa. It was young on the pitch and experienced bench. But look, whatever happens, he's going to have to. I think for me, he's got to get some more players in, some more experienced players with quality to get them in. But there's nothing wrong with the 3 games that we got. Like we got Tottenham, Everton, and then we got Man United here. And for me, I'll just think that okay, he's put out that formation in there. Are we ready to go and play Tottenham and Everton away with the team that we played? Might get caught out with the pace that they've got with Son as well, especially. So he might go back to a 3. So, but that's what the beauty of this is about. If you've got a squad that you can rotate formations as well as players, then you know you're in a healthy place. And I just think that game by game, you've got to have a look at what you're going to play. I think he might go back to a 3 against Tottenham.
I think it depends what his thought process is. If he's trying to work on this for next season, I think today's result almost gives us a free shot at them sort of games as well. So I think why not try and work on this formation, because this ultimately is what you want to try and work on. I think maybe there'll be a change of personnel. I think Traore will almost definitely start. I think Morgan will start as well. I think maybe Vitinha might drop out, if anything, and give it a go in that sense. Because I think with Morgan in there, he can give you the he's not gonna. If you had Vitinha, Podence, and Traore up there, I think they are going to start. But I think Morgan will work back with you as well, and I think that will be a different balance to how Wolves will play as well. So I just think keep it the same in keeping if this is what you want to continue on for next season, because you want to see what players are like in the positions in this shape as well. And I think if we are going to continue to play this way, then give these lads a try.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you want to get a gauge on your players, then if you want to play a certain system, then go and have a look at them. Go and have a look at them when they've won. Go and have a look at them against a different team. Are they going to compete as good, or are they going to be better than last week? Are they going to be worse than last week? Is he going to read the game better? You got to give people a chance in different formations to see how they're going to get on. And I think he wants to play that back 4. So yeah, I think if you keep the team the same, give people a chance and see how it goes.
I think we've been speaking a lot about these last few games, and they're not meaningless, are they? I think there's a lot on them for next season, and I think that's it.
Is he going to play to win the game, or is he going to just stick? And also, it comes down to the players as well, doesn't it? The players that he's got in his select from as well.
And I think that's the young and experienced players. I think there's a lot on how we move forward next season, and I think that's why these games are going to be interesting.
I tell you what, there was plenty riding on it today as far as our charity bets. The Wolves Foundation. I think we had 3 bets on 2-1, and my bet of more than 2.5 goals. So it's only Tomo that let the side down, basically. And our partners at Boyle Sports are going to be putting lots of money into the pot for today. So that Morgan Gibbs-White goal was more valuable than he will ever know as far as the Feed Our Pack thing is concerned. I've just been told we've won £1,700
wow.
in one game for the foundation, which is absolutely brilliant. All the details, wolves.co.uk, if you want to join the Feed Our Pack campaign. Thank you very much, Lee Naylor. Great to see you and having you the whole game as well. Carl Ikeme, and of course, the Hall of Famer, Andy Thompson. Wolves TV will bring you a massive game for the under-23s tomorrow lunchtime win, and they will get home advantage in the Premier League 2 Division 2 playoffs. Make sure you join us for that tomorrow lunchtime. From all of us, have a very good rest of the weekend.
You're everywhere and nowhere, baby. That's where you're at. Going down a bumpy hillside in your hippie hat. Fly
philosophies.